It's big, it's back, and it's only $6. Get the big box y'all love today. And this holiday season, you can order a Cajun-style turkey at your local Popeyes.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Untuck It makes every guy look better. From tall to short, from big to slim. From our iconic button-downs for all shapes and sizes to a whole lot more. Try us today. Untuck It. We just make guys look better. Oh, and we make great styles for her, too. Shop the sale now at untuckit.com and more than 80 stores worldwide.
Hi, Eric.
Hi, Mel. Is now good for a quick catch-up on your plan?
Yes, now's great.
Has anything changed since we last spoke?
You know what? Yes, I'm thinking more long-term.
Great. We'll make that change to your plan and adjust as needed.
This helps a lot.
Bye, Mel.
Bye. Make sense of your money with Citizens.
Hi, is this the 247?
Mo.
Come together, grow together, raise funds, save lives. Sign up at Movember.com.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
You got a minute?
You are. Talk to your child about vaping today.
So it has begun. It has begun, everyone. The march to the West Coast to meet with Juan Soto and Scott Boras.
They're walking?
Yeah, I think they are. They
This is
asked
something.
them to walk barefoot from wherever they are because they really want them to show fealty to them. So the Red Sox took the march, and Tom Werner, one of the owners, but not John Henry, the main owner, he went, the GM went, the manager went. They met for 3 hours. And this is what shocks me, guys. It was leaked out of the meeting that it went very well. That Soto was impressed. Yeah, it went very well.
How do they know he was impressed? Did he say, wow, I'm impressed?
Well, I mean, I'm assuming that the leaking is coming from the Soto side. So if you happen to say, you know, Juan was really impressed by the Red Sox presentation, well, that means the Yankees are supposed to wet their pants. And maybe the Mets wet their pants and put another zero on the check. Listen, you guys know I love baseball. I am so tired of this ridiculous theater that's going to be going on for the next couple of weeks. He's impressed by the Red Sox. You know what's going to impress him? If they offer more money than anybody else. How did they impress him in that 3-hour meeting? What was said in the 3-hour meeting?
Because I don't know what they're selling. What is he asking? If I knew that, then maybe we could have some fun and talk about it. Like, is he checking out the schools? Is he checking out the neighborhood? Is he asking, all right, can I take a look at the scouting reports of all your minor league players to see if you guys are going to be competitive after I sign this contract? Like, if I knew all that, I'd say, all right, maybe we can find some answers to that. But I don't know. Is it a dog and pony show? Or is he asking some, like, legitimate questions that are actually going to forward some information here?
I think that he and Boris are asking legitimate questions. But I think that everything takes a distinctly distant backseat to how much money. So we keep hearing that, winning is really important to him. And I'm going to say something. I'll probably get a call from Scott Boras at 6:31.
Okay.
All right.
What's the worst team in baseball? Let's say the Marlins, just for argument's sake.
Well,
right?
White Sox, but yeah.
Oh, the White Sox. I mean, that's even better. The White Sox. Jerry Reinsdorf says, you know what, I'm going to shake the world up here. I'm going to offer him $75 million a year for 10 years to play for the worst team in baseball history. And the next closest is Steve Cohen, who offers $60 million a year for 10 years. Where do you think he's going? Where do you think he's going?
The highest bidder. He's going
to go to the White Sox. $75 million a year.
But this is the game. The White Sox aren't going to make a pitch. Like, well, the Rays are. Rays are supposed to be involved. Now, the Rays aren't the worst team in baseball, but you can't tell me you're signing with the Rays because you got a chance to win every year. They've been competitive, and I think that they've done better than people have expected, but there's no way you can tell me you're going to sign with the Rays, Michael, because we believe they're going to be competitive every year and compete for a World Series.
Well, they do have an advantage because he's very familiar with their home ballpark from last spring training.
That's it.
Yeah.
Somebody brought this up. I'm surprised that none of us thought about it. What if for some reason the Rays make a run to the World Series?
Yeah, the World Series have 11,000 people.
Maybe you can't do that.
I'm surprised that I guess because they want to keep their footprint, their fans involved. But isn't the obvious play to have the Marlins and them split that stadium? It's still in Florida. I know it's far from Tampa. It's not drivable.
I mean, nobody would go, but it would be like they're playing at home anyway. But, God, that would be just embarrassing. If you had, imagine you had a league championship series, A's-Rays. And both games in the series are played in minor league parks.
And also, it's not inconceivable. The Rays are good. The Rays are always good. So there might be playoff games played at Steinbrenner Field.
But to your point, Michael, that's not a scenario that's going to happen, right? Everybody that's in it is going to be a really competitive team. So it's really going to the highest bidder. We all know that. But Boris doesn't want people to think it's only about the money. Soto doesn't want people to think it's only about the money.
But we know it's only about the money. The only tiebreaker is if the money's equal. Right. And then you're going to pick the team that gives you the best chance to win or put the best plan forward.
No, but we know that. But they don't want you to think that.
But what, are we dumb?
No, I understand that, Michael, but you know how dumb we are? Or how dumb they think we are? When Soto signs at the press conference and he's asked, why did you sign with Team X? Do you think he's going to say because they pay me the most money?
No.
No, he's not going to say that. He's going to say, I love this city. I met with the manager and the general manager, and I loved how they were all about winning. They're going to lie to you. So, of course, right now, they're going to try to set this whole perception that money is only a part of the process. And that's why they're doing all this. It's all just for optics. We all know it's just about money. But if you would just take phone calls and didn't meet with anybody, that would just further confirm that it's all about the money. This is a dog and pony show to try to prove that it's not just about the money.
What I would want to do on this show, we want to educate and also entertain.
Mm-hmm.
E squared. That's our plan every day.
Okay.
And what I'm telling you is this. This is how it goes down. Red Sox meet with them, and it's leaked to the Boston. It was leaked to a Boston website that Soto was really impressed and went very well. So that's got to come from that camp. So they're playing games. They're playing games with us and with the other teams to make the Yankees get nervous. Wow, if we lose them to the Red Sox. And let me tell you one thing about the Red Sox, okay? Because they're cheap the last 4 years, and I guess they have the right to be cheap because they've won 4 championships since the last time. They've won 4 championships since 2004, and so that gives them some latitude. But they're so cheap, they let Mookie Betts go. They let Xander Bogaerts go. And now you're going to convince me that the Red Sox have found religion and they're going to drop at least $50 million a year in the lap of Juan Soto. I want to see it.
Yeah,
I want to convince me. They've been cheap for the last 3 years. They refused to spend money. Refused. And now they're going after Juan Soto. Again, maybe they get him. I need to be convinced on.
But you seem surprised that this is all happening.
No, not surprised. Kind of disgusted.
You're disgusted by it, and you know it's all about the money. We all know it's about the money. And obviously, these teams know it's all about the money. So why would they be scared off by a report that he liked the Red Sox? If we all know it's about the money, all you need to know as another team is, what do the Red Sox offer? And then go above it. Like, so why would you even blink if you heard, oh, he really fell in love with the Red Sox? That meeting really went well. If it's really just all about the money, Michael, then why are you concerned? What did they offer? That's the only information that I should be able to care about. But they're just going through the motions because they think that they might be able to fool some people that it's not just about the money. He's going to fall in love with the history of Fenway Park. He's going to fall in love with the schools. I mean, give me a break. It's all about the money, but they're still going through it, Michael, as if they're going to fool somebody.
But I think some of the leaking, though, is also to get other teams nervous. And I just don't know how it works. I'm glad that I don't do that for a living because, Scott is so good at what he does. Like, what if he goes to the Yankees and said, well, I'm not going to tell you the teams, but I have 2 teams that are offering $50 million a year for 12 years. How could Hal check that out? How does he know? Because the owners can't converse with each other. It would be collusion. So, I mean, you've got to trust that Scott's telling you the absolute truth, or you call his bluff. I don't know how that works. I mean, again, whenever Scott has a big client, there's a secret team out there. Well, how do you know what people are offering? I guess the only thing that you could do is say, this is what we think he's worth. And this is what we're offering. I don't care what anybody else is offering.
Yeah, but why would they be scared off about the leaks of information that has anything but money to do with it, right? So if it's about how well he liked it, just find out how much he offered. But it is amazing that Boris is allowed to do that, and Soto's allowed to do that.
That the owners can't.
But the owners, God forbid, if they say we're not interested, they get fined. Like, it's really it's amazing how much it is weighed towards the players. And nobody's going to feel bad for the billionaire owners, but it doesn't seem to be fairly equal. Like, if Brian Cashman says, no, we're not interested, we got enough outfielders, he's going to get in trouble. But yet Boris can go and lie and say, oh, the Mets are offering $60 million, you got to pay us $70. And the owners can't talk to each other. It's really a ridiculous business. It really is.
1-800-919-3776. Let's go back to the phones. Let's go to Raul in Harrisburg.
Michael, Donnie, Peter, what's up?
How you doing, man?
There he is.
All right, man. Hey, listen, before I get to my point, I want to ask Don. Don, you should put more drops on your social media. That way you get more audience. I was thinking about that. You're a cool guy, man. All my people love you, man, from Dominicans.
Well, I do
people from the Dominican.
Yeah, I think Peter brought that up one time.
People from the Dominican love Don. Is that a thing, really?
Oh, he's big in DR.
Yeah, my whole family, man. Every time I put the show, they love you, man.
I got to make more of it.
They're like, who's that crazy guy? I'm like,
wait, but remember, we already heard this. Remember, Cast One told us that his entire family loves Don.
I got to make more of an effort. I do a lot on Twitter, but I'm not I got a lot going on. I should do a better job, Raul. I can't argue with you. I will try to put more content on Instagram. I'm not really on it, but you're right. I got to change my ways, man. I got to get with the times. I'm embarrassed. Apologize
and I'm not
to
a
all of your friends.
guy like that, too. Yeah, definitely. It's a good thing to look out. And my point is, I want to talk about the Rays in George M. Steinbrenner Field. Mm-hmm. I was just thinking about that, what you just said. You dropped it right on point. What are they going to do with the Rays playing the World Series? And then if the stadium, if they could have played in the Phillies spring training field better to avoid crowd and field? Because it's going to be awkward for the Rays. You know what I'm thinking, guys? I'm thinking about outside the box. Like, why they could have borrowed a soccer field. You know, it's bigger. It's a bigger. It makes it.
Well, they need
look
the
like
clubhouses. They need the batting cages.
You know,
that I was there. Michael could talk it up, but I was there. Raul, as not a Yankee fan at all. But when I was there last year to go down there and do that Ranger Lightning game, and I talked to Boone, it is spectacular, the facility. So they're going to the best minor league facility, spring training facility I think there is. So yeah, it'd be less awkward to go to Philly to do the Philly one in Clearwater, but Michael, it wouldn't be as good. They're picking the Yankees because it's the best.
I was talking with Jody before, and she brought up a great question, and I just guessed the answer. Right across the street from Steinbrenner Field is Raymond James Stadium. It's a 75, 80,000 seat stadium where the Buccaneers play. Couldn't they configure it?
I don't think so.
I said I guess they can't. But, you know, the Dodgers played in the L.A. Coliseum when they moved to L.A. before the Dodger Stadium was finished.
I know, but you don't want a polo ground situation, right? I'd have to see how it's
isn't that
configured.
better than playing in a minor league ballpark?
I don't know. That's a good question. If it's just not, and plus the Buccaneers would probably say no.
Why?
Well,
they're not playing during that time.
They don't.
In September they are.
Yeah, in September and possibly in October. I mean, I think, and also I'm not sure Major League Baseball want to do it. I think they were trying to get out of the business of that because who knows if the turf
but desperate times call for desperate measures. It might be a fun thing.
Listen, the only awkward thing about them playing at George Steinbrenner Field is because it only holds 11,000 people. But we're also talking about a team that doesn't draw very well anyway. That's really the only awkward part. They're going to have a nice facility, batting cages and everything. I think the players are probably going to love it.
But
that's
when the Yankees and the Red Sox are in town, I mean, they get like 22,000 people, 25,000. Well, now you're not going to be able to do that.
Hey, listen, but you said desperate times call for desperate measures, Michael, but you also don't want to play. Again, I'd have to see the specs of it. But if you play at Raymond James Stadium and it's 250 down the line, I mean, that's going to compromise the game.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody talks about it enough. The Polo Grounds was a joke. The Bobby Thompson home run was a joke. It was a pop-up. What was it, like 255 down the line? I mean, that wouldn't fly today, Michael. You can't do that.
No, I don't think that you could do it, but isn't there a way to carve out the seats and put temporary, again, I'm just thinking out loud because I think that's obviously that big league facility. They don't have batting cages and stuff like that. I guess you could go across the street and use the ones at Steinbrenner Field, but it would be something that, if they made the playoffs, you might get 50,000 people there.
But you're also talking about having to do something that might cost a lot more than $15 million. I'm sure they don't have an appetite to, we'll reconfigure Raymond James Stadium, and now it's going to cost you $30 million.
Let's go to JR in New Jersey. JR.
Gentlemen, how are you today?
How are you?
Loyal, I'm very good. Thank you for taking the time with me. You picked up for a loyal Boston Red Sox fan since 1971, going back to Yaz and the boys through the years. Loyal listener to Michael through the 80s, came up here. You remember when you used to be putting microphones into the locker rooms, and then you came up, became the announcer on the Yankee station. Where am I going with it? I have the Red Sox package all these years. I listen to Michael Kay and the Yankees. Why? Michael, your honesty in listening to a game, you call a game better than any Red Sox announcer, better than any announcer, and you proved it when you did the national games this past year during the series or during the playoffs. It's just a pleasure to listen to you do a game. You say it honestly. I'd rather listen to a Yankee game than listen to a Red Sox game, just because I know you're a Yankee fan, but you still call the game so clear, so honest, and so true that it makes it a pleasure to listen to you on the radio, on the TV, or wherever you are.
Listen.
And that's what it's really about.
Wait a minute.
You are a Hall of Fame announcer, and you keep me going as a loyal Red Sox fan to listen to you daily, and whether you're on TV or where you're at. And you make it just a pleasure all the time. And with the guys around you, Peter and Don, you just create the team, too. I just can't thank you enough for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Joe.
Well, wait a minute. I wish he would stay on so I could further interrogate this, how should I put it, performative phone call.
Performative.
He had
what
had me until he said that I'd rather watch the Yankees than the Red Sox.
I think what he meant was when the Yankees are playing the
That's what I thought. That's why I was going to let it go. It's like, okay, he's a loyal Red Sox fan, but you know what? He's not in love with the announcers. Michael's better. So when the Yankees play the Red Sox, he's going to watch yes. Okay, I can live with that. I can understand it. I can get on board with it. But correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Later on, he's like, and I'd rather watch the Yankees than the Red Sox. And then you lose me. Like, if you tell me the Red Sox are playing the Mariners, but the Yankees are playing the White Sox, I'm going to watch the Yankee game because I think their announcers are better. Maybe I read it wrong. Anthony, maybe you can help me out. Jacob. But it sounded like towards the end like he'd rather watch a Yankee game than a Red Sox game. Well, I got to question your loyalty.
I am that good, though. You know,
listen, I don't want to. It has nothing to do with you. But I think...
Also, I would like to defend Dave O'Brien, who does the games on Nesson. He's outstanding.
But come on,
he's
you're
outstanding.
Great. You're great.
No, but he's great too, and they have great analysts as well.
And you know how I feel about you, and you know how I feel about the SNY. But hey, because of my loyalty to Yes and my loyalty to you, when the Yankees play the Mets, I watch Yes.
Thank you.
But I'm not watching Yankees over Mets.
Well, then you're not a real fan of Michael.
If you would.
But it sounded like that's what he was doing.
He also... Listen, I have a friend from Staten Island who occasionally drops a solid U's instead of you. The way he didn't even sound like he had that strong an accent, but then kept saying U's.
So you think this was an
act? The whole thing might have been a play. Fugazi.
Really?
What do you think, Don?
If I had to bet, I would say yeah.
So let me break this down if I can. Now, you could stop me if I'm wrong. Somebody called up and was waxing poetic about what a great job I do.
Mm-hmm.
Because you think I'm not that good.
No.
You think that the whole thing was Fugazi.
Did I?
And he didn't mean it. No, I'm not saying you, Don.
I thought I painted
I'm saying the guy who brought it up. I'm saying the guy who brought it up. Peter's saying it's hard to believe that anybody could think you're that great.
But we just listed about 4 or 5 things between myself and Peter of why we thought the call was a phony.
Mm-hmm.
Not once did we mention his praise for you. We talked about
But that was the premise of the phone call, Don. So if you say it's a phony, then you're saying that there's no way that anybody can feel that way
First of all, it was off topic. We didn't say, we'll take our calls on how much you love Michael, 1-800-919-3776. It was off topic. Comes out of nowhere. He's way over the top with his praise for you at the expense of his own Red Sox. And a guy from Jersey sounds like he's Brooklyn, and it was a kind of a forced accent. I'm just saying, there's a lot of evidence.
People do move from Brooklyn to Jersey.
I know. A lot.
Yeah,
but,
sure.
Peter, we listed about 7, 8 things that were wrong with that call.
I think
none of it was
at the crux of this is that you don't believe that anybody could think I'm that good. That's the crux.
Why, when it's about you, you've got to go even deeper at being about you? It had nothing to do with how he praised you. You're great. But it just seemed it was a little much. It was out of place, and he'd rather watch the Yankees than a Red Sox fan. You know how good you have to be.
But he also showed love to you two guys too.
Yeah, in the passing, carrying the water, sidekick way. So I don't accept it.
By the way, Greek is upset. He said to me that my shirt has schmutz on it. He didn't say schmutz. He said there's white powder on your shirt.
Well, why are you doing coke while you're doing the show? I don't understand.
It would explain your behavior last night with the cheerleaders.
Yeah.
You know what? Point God.
That is a coked up thing to do.
But it really was. It was unhinged. But it's not. And so I told him, I said, it's the shirt. And then he zooms in on it and sends it again. I'm like, I know, it's the shirt. The shirt is a black shirt with like little white design on it, but the way it's playing on TV,
you know the designer, Don? Cocaine.
Cocaine.
Yeah.
Does cocaine go bad?
Yeah.
When did you ask that, Don?
What did I ask? I
cocaine go bad?
I asked that? I don't remember asking that.
Yeah, that was 2018. You also said this.
I've decided, you know what? I'd like to do cocaine.
That had to be out of context. I've never had any.
I can't imagine.
Greek just texted me. He said, despite what Peter's saying, it's definitely a stain.
Is that what he said? I'm looking down at the shirt. There's just that's the design.
You better
of the
go
shirt.
back to your hotel, get another shirt, because you're going to meet important people today.
It's all over the shirt. You can't escape
Megan Thee Stallion. Any chance she's there?
I just saw a few names.
Cardi
by the way.
B.
I stumbled by a little scriptaroo over here.
And who's the biggest name?
Like the layout. I see
Matthew McConaughey.
Benny Agbayani.
They don't list like celebrities in attendance. They just list the ones who are doing stuff on the show.
Ed Kranepool!
Well, no, it's not going to be. Yeah, it's not possible. Yeah. But I see Magic Johnson's on the show. I see Shaq is on the show. Rosie Perez is on part of the commentary.
Big fan of Rosie Perez.
Who's not?
Sweeney Murdy was there.
You familiar with the work of David Blow?
You know who I think is going to show up tonight, Peter?
By the way, that's the nickname for. That should be the nickname for this shirt.
David Blow. Do you know?
That's right.
I think he's going to show up tonight. 45-47.
No,
it's fake news.
Not going to happen.
That's not true.
Maybe he shows up at the Garden tomorrow.
He will 100% be at the Garden tomorrow. This event feels very much line in the sand. It's Dana White versus Jake Paul. There's like
okay.
That's and so I'm thinking
45-47 is aligned with Dana White.
Well, I'd say considering he spoke to his supporters at Mar-a-Lago on election night, yeah, they're pretty lined up.
But if he didn't have to do Dana the favor, where do you think his heart lies this week?
He's honestly, a friend of Mike Tyson.
I think this event is in Texas. He loves Tyson. He went on Logan Paul's podcast. This is a huge stadium. Jerry Jones. I think he would rather be here for this. That's my thought. But he does love the fighting, the MMA. So who knows?
If you want to go by the election, he should go to Tennessee, Georgia Saturday.
Anthony Greek says that Livy Dunn, we call her, is going to be there, and Mr. Beast is going to be there.
Wait, who is Mr. Beast?
He's the guy who does all these. I mean, he gives money away. Does like, you know, if you live in a house for like 60 days.
I have heard of him.
Yeah, he's very compelling, and also for some reason he makes candy bars, and they sell very well. I know my kids like them. Don, you got to get into the 21st century, my friend.
Why? I'm enjoying the 20th century. I still have more to do.
We're going to come back, and Peter's going to do the first. I think it's the first ever ENN live from Dallas. Oh, it's not really Dallas. It's Arlington, Texas.
It's the first one ever from Jerry World. Absolutely.
Well, there you go. That's coming up in just a moment, right here on Yes and 880 ESPN.
Dear Non-Stick Surface, you're great for scrambling eggs, but to drive on, well, that's what it feels like when things get rough. Good thing we have amazing traction. Let's bond. Toyota all-wheel drive vehicles.
Get Black Friday savings all month long. Lease RAV4 with all-wheel drive for just $299 a month. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
'Twas the night before Spriteness, but feeling mad lame, cause Santa was out with a high ankle sprain. We needed a sub that was down for the cause. Then into the game came our man, Answer Claus. His task was not easy, but it had to be done. Sprite Winter Spice Cranberry for everyone. This limited Sprite make the holidays lit. As for once in his life, it hit nothing but brick. And they heard him exclaim as he peeked out of sight.
Merry Spritemas to all, and to all a good Sprite.
Check it out. Time to show your next pride. Coming for the crowd. In the battle of the boroughs. Follow the fun and sound off on Gotham Sports Socials as crosstown rivals play their first game of the NBA Cup. We got Nets versus Knicks tonight at 7 on Yes and streaming on the Gotham Sports app.
Coming for the crown, it's a shutdown.
Visit linkedbylovetv.org to learn more about kidney disease, transplantation, and prevention. Get the facts, get checked, and get healthy.
Mi embarazo con Maya fue normal, todo estuvo bien hasta que nació. La cadera dislocada, y a lo mejor traía consecuencias en la cabeza. Cada cirugía que ella requiere, creí que Dios me la iba a recoger. Lloraba como ahorita, pero mucho porque me la dejan. El hospital Shriners me dio mucha esperanza. Cada día que despierta, le doy gracias a Dios. Pueden encontrar algo que pueda hacer que mi hija tenga una mejor calidad de vida.
Por más de 95 años, los hospitales Shriners para niños han ayudado a brindar esperanza a niños y sus familias, sin importar la capacidad de pago que tengan.
Con la ayuda de los hospitales Shiner, la vida puede ser muy milagrosa. Yo siento que Mayita todavía tiene mucho que vivir y que hacer. Todo va a estar bien, gracias a los hospitales de Shiner.
Visita moreshiners.org hoy.
There's no place like the road home. Receive a $5,500 bonus on a new 2024 Audi Q5 plug-in hybrid during the season of Audi sales event.
It's big, it's back, and it's only $6. Get the big box y'all love today. And this holiday season, you can order a Cajun-style turkey at your local Popeyes.
Love that chicken from Popeyes. Untuck It makes every guy look better. From tall to short, from big to slim. From our iconic button-downs for all shapes and sizes to a whole lot more. Try us today. Untuck It. We just make guys look better. Oh, and we make great styles for her, too. Shop the sale now at untuckit.com and more than 80 stores worldwide.
You know, when I take the bike out like this, all my stresses just melt away.
I hear that. This bad boy can fix anything.
Yep, tough day at work. Nice cruiser sorts you right out.
When I'm riding, I'm not even thinking about my painful cavity.
Oh, you shouldn't ignore that.
And every time I get stressed about having to pay my bills, I just hop on the bike, man.
Oh, come on, man. You got to pay your bills.
You don't have to worry about anything when you're protected by America's #1 motorcycle insurer.
Well, you definitely do. Those things aren't related, so...
Oh, that is a vibrating pain.
Dear Santa, my mom says I'm a good helper, but you didn't come last year. I just really hope this year when I wake up, I'm gonna see that you came to my house too.
Donate today. There's no place like the road home. Receive a $5,500 bonus on a new 2024 Audi Q5 plug-in hybrid during the season of Audi sales event.
Chris Sheeran back here for the Michael Kay Show. The quest for the Emirates Cup begins tonight for the Brooklyn Nets when they head to Manhattan and take on the Knicks at Madison Square Garden. It's the first of 4 meetings between the two in-city rivals. They meet again on Sunday at MSG, and then not until January and the last game of the season in April. Both of those games will be at Barclays Center. It's also the first of 4 games in the NBA Emirates Cup for Brooklyn. The Nets are the only team in Group A who hasn't played a game in the Cup yet. The Knicks beat the Sixers earlier this week. They are tied with the Magic atop the standings, but it's been an up-and-down start to the season for Tom Thibodeau's squad. They are under 500. The Nets come in at 5-7 and will look to bounce back from their loss at home to the Celtics on Wednesday. Our coverage for tonight's Tilt at the Garden begins with the pregame show at 7, followed by opening tip a little after 7:30. It's the Nets and the Knicks in the NBA Emirates Cup matchup tonight. Coverage starting at 7 right here on Yes, and streaming, of course, on the Gotham Sports app.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to ENN.
Ray Rowe.
On Tiwi.
It's brought to you by our friends over at Security Dodge. I'd like to thank Greek for me now having a wet spot on my shirt as I tried to wash the color off of my shirt. Because after I explained that's what the shirt design is, he wrote me again, just looking out, I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but yeah, have someone else check it out. As if when I look down myself and I see this is the design of the shirt, I still somehow was convinced by Greek I was wrong. And now my shirt is wet. Guys, welcome to ENN. I'd like to start off, you know what they say, there's no ENN like the one after a crushing defeat by your team that cost you 3 points on Thursday Night Football. Plus, if you're at Jerry World, oh, forget about it. Let's start off. Lots of good drops today. I mean, lots of good ones. Let's start off by saying good evening to Michael.
There's bare breasts.
And to Michael.
Diving, I went. Rocky Mountain climbing, I went. 2.7 seconds on a horse named Fu Manchu. And I love deeper and wow.
Let's say good evening to Don.
Get the song on. He might save my job.
And good evening to Don.
Flip her right in, baby. I'm going to play a song that's same way every time. I'm going to play a song that everybody's heard 100 times. Country music sounds exactly the same. Elvira.
And you're going to let him do this, Peter.
Wow, wow. Giddy up, boom, bop, wow, wow.
What do you say, Michael?
He's out of his mind.
Let's say good evening to myself. Let's say good evening to myself. I like the vanilla ice cream, so pass me the mint chocolate chip so I can pee in it. And also one more time to Don.
SAG-AFTRA, SAG.
And lastly, to Don and myself on what I could be staring in the face after that terrible loss last night.
Clown show, clown show, clown show, clown show.
Speaking of which, Saquon Barkley was fantastic last night, and the Eagles faithful, they were thanking Saquon live on Prime.
It was amazing. Last year it was tough year for me mentally. Did a really good job of. They love the Cowboys.
I'm gonna stop you for a second. I'm gonna let the crowd take this one. You guys listen at home. They are saying thank you, Giants.
Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. This would not be happening here. Had him for 6 glorious seasons. Nothing like this. You know why? Because that team's better. And we'll see how that contract ages. And we'll see how the contract ages. Listen, every time he has a great game, you got to get, Don LaGreca said they didn't need him. I never said they didn't need him. It doesn't work. The Giants are not even in the same strategy. It's actually embarrassing to the NFC East that the Giants and Eagles are in the same division.
You know, they asked, let's move to the Jets for a moment.
Okay.
Another inept New York football team.
That was quite the pivot.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's time to move on, right? What else are you going to say about the Giants? They're a team. They also play. But the Jets, Jeff Ulbrich, a.k.a. Brick Tamlin, he was asked, would you want Rodgers back next year? Yeah.
Absolutely, I would. You know, he's a guy that he's just so talented, and he's proven over all the years just to be one of the generational players in this league. And I would love for him to get an opportunity, to play healthy football and see what that looks like for an entire season.
So now he's hurt?
Wait, he hasn't gotten to play healthy football.
What is that?
Love to see get him play healthy football.
You know what just stinks about like the power that like companies
of
have.
Love?
And the great players have is that they still end up getting people to talk them up. Because, listen, how can Jeff say anything else? He's the interim head coach. I don't think he has any shot of being the coach in the future. But if he really wanted to kill any chances he had, rip Rodgers. And I feel bad. Like, I really respect Rex Ryan. I think he's fabulous at what he does. But to hear him go on our shows here at the station, talk on Get Up, say we, say us, talk up Woody Johnson, talk up Aaron Rodgers, because he wants the job, man. And he knows if he goes after those two people, he's not going to get the job.
I was thinking about this, Don. So Rex really does want this.
Oh, without question.
Other than Billy Martin, and Lou Piniella and Bob Lemon, has any
other than the
Yankees, other than the Yankees, that's the way to put it, has any team brought back a coach?
Oh, there had to be. There's got to be.
The Mets never have. The Jets never have. The Giants never have.
Why do I feel like there's a team?
Has any of the hockey teams done it?
Well, the Devils brought back.
Says the Vikings brought back.
The Knicks brought back Red Holtzman.
Right, and the Devils brought back Jacques Lemaire, but that wasn't like he was really like fired. That was very extenuating.
Yeah, Red Holtzman retired and then came back.
Lindy Ruff went back to Buffalo like a century later. So it's happened a couple of times in hockey.
You have to realize that in hockey,
Football. Why do I feel like I'm missing somebody in football? Didn't Art Shell?
But not New York teams talking about.
Yeah, not New York. But yeah, I think didn't Shell go back to the Raiders? It's happened on occasion, and I'm not even saying that it isn't something they should kick the tires on. Because really, Rex would be better than anything that they've had recently, for sure. But and again, Rex can't help himself. Did you hear the one promo? Like, they actually think they had a defense as good as me. Let it go, Rex, okay? It was a long time ago. God. I love the guy, but listen, it's not about you. But he can't go after Rodgers because he wants the job. Like, you got people in the company, people that are in the industry following don't go after Rodgers. If you lose Rodgers, all of a sudden you might not have an angle. It's really amazing that when you get that kind of power, that you could be that bad and still have people talk you up because they're scared of them not being able to work or be able to do their job because you're no longer on board with them. Doesn't that make you sad? Makes me sad. I want people to be able to give their opinion.
Oh, by the way, the most obvious staring us right in the face. I'm sick to my stomach.
Oh, boy. Oh, yeah.
How about Joe
Yeah,
Gibbs?
you know, that's on you.
No, it is. It's me. I'm checked out. I mean, listen, I'm done.
But boy, this is your segment.
No, not with the show, with the team. All right, guys, we do have to keep moving, though, here. I am in Dallas for the fight. I'm thinking it'll get on your TV around 11:30. But I strongly suggest, and guys, I'm not getting paid to tell you this. I would tune in for the co-main event between Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. I can't imagine. I don't know that they'll repeat what they did exactly. But if it's anywhere near it, you will be incredibly entertained. Of course, Mike Tyson slapped Jake Paul at the weigh-in last night. Mike Tyson saying Jake Paul is in big trouble.
In the ring is when the party begins. Then we're going to find out, can he party with the big boys?
And how does that party end?
Smashing.
And how do you think the fight will go on Friday night?
I think Jake's in a lot of trouble.
Why do you disrespect me?
Boy.
He's got more. There's more of them. You see the other one?
Is there a printing press behind you? Like one of those old-fashioned ones
It's
you use by hand?
Cotton gin. It's cotton gin.
He's a very scared man.
That's another. There's more.
Hey, listen to my Mike Tyson podcast.
Not that one.
Thank you for being such a gentleman.
Sounds just like him.
I want to thank you for treating me with respect. People don't do that. And I could see in your eyes you treated me with respect.
I maintain to this day that drop existed is all the proof you ever need that Michael Kay is a horrible human being.
So
I don't understand why you feel that.
I can't understand why you can't understand. A man came to you and said the thing that he deeply appreciated was that you treat him with respect.
Yeah, and all I did was an imitation of him.
You repaid that sentiment by doing a really bad impression of him saying.
Spot on.
Let's hear it one more time.
I want to thank you for treating me with respect. People don't do that. And I could see in your eyes you treated me with respect.
Exactly what he said and the way he said it.
You would cave in
Thank
your
you for
forehead.
treating me with respect. Nobody does.
He would kill you.
He said it to me, and it was about 25 years ago.
And you would say it right back to him?
Yeah. Well, am I afraid of him?
It should be.
Yeah.
So Mike Tyson, who's turned into a really nice guy, is going to kill somebody in cold blood.
No. That's not how fear works, though. No. I'm saying right now, you interview him one more time. He comes on our show. He's sitting right next to you.
Right.
He seems friendly enough, but you can't fully read his mood. He's just being regular.
I'll say, Mike, I do a great invitation. You want to hear this?
And you would say, I want to tell you, after I met you, you said something to me. Let me play you the audio of me doing it. You would do that.
Yeah.
No way.
Is that point guard, Don? Could it be?
Well, it would be if you were right.
No way.
I would do it.
Oh my God.
No way.
You know what? Enough. There's only one thing to do.
I fear no one.
I like that.
You know why you like it? Because it's a line that he stole.
Yeah, it's your line.
You don't know that?
No, I just like the sentiment that he's saying that. But, do you realize that if Michael got slapped the way Jake Paul got slapped, Michael would still be unconscious.
I know.
No. My neck would have snapped, but I would be conscious.
Guys, I'm sitting here in Jerry World. The day after a brutal loss, there's only one thing to do on a day like today.
Waste about 5 minutes.
Your NFL announcer lineup.
That's part of my day.
For week 11 already, Don. Week 11. Let's get to it. I got to move quick. We start out in Chicago. Get your brats ready. The Packers and the Bears, a classic. 1 o'clock on Fox. Kevin Burkhardt on the call.
Boston College.
He'll be joined by the very overpaid Tom Brady.
There's a lot of going on.
And Aaron Andrews.
Who was talking about you?
And Tom Rinaldi.
That he was actually ready to come out and play. That he's, pardon me, he's...
Now, remove the fact that this team, one of these teams, is the best team in the NFC, and just hear the names of the teams that I'm saying. When I say, smells like a Sunday at 9:30, but it's not. It's 1 o'clock. It's the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Detroit Lions. 1 o'clock on CBS as the drums are back on here in Dallas. Kevin Harlan on the call.
That will give you something to sing about.
He'll be joined by Trent Green and Melanie Collins.
This rivalry never disappoints. When you... Derek, take me through that run.
I like some Melanie Collins.
Yeah.
Let's go down to Miami. It doesn't smell like a Thursday, but it kind of does. Or 9:30, I should say. It's the Vegas Raiders at the Dolphins. CBS 1 o'clock. Tom McCarthy on the call. He'll be joined by Jay Feely.
Jay Feely used to work at this station. We don't have anything on him?
Let's see. This could be the perfect. This could be all four. Ross Tucker.
I don't like that call at all.
Wow. And Tiffany Blackman.
Give me a vibe check.
Nice. Let's head to New England. The Rams and the Pats. Adam Amin.
Now stands erect.
Mark Sanchez. And one half of the Pink and Stink connection, Christina Pink.
Oh, yeah, the swagger is back.
Let's go to N.O., the Browns and the Saints. 1 o'clock on Fox. Don's best pal, Kenny Albert.
Most people would probably not know that I could play the piano by ear.
Jonathan Vilma. And Jen Hale on the sidelines.
Down to the wire thriller.
Now, you want to talk about what really should be on at 9:30? It's at 1 o'clock on CBS. It's the Indianapolis Colts and the New York Jets. Do you guys ever recall a team that just all they do is lose and then all they are is favored the next weeks? The Jets are a 4-point favorite.
Think about that.
Against Indy. That's right. Andrew Catalan on the call.
Adam Catalan on
Andrew. Damn it. Tiki Barber.
My go-to karaoke song is Sunday Morning by Maroon 5.
Jason McCourty and A.J. Ross.
Texans running back Joe Mixon dapping it up.
The Colts are 4-0 against the spread against teams with losing records this season. The Jets are 1-6 against the spread in their last 7. Don, 1-6 against the spread in their last 7. They're still favored by 4.
Love them.
It's crazy, the Jets public. Let's go to Pittsburgh. Now, this is a game. You'd think it's a hello, friends. It's such a good lineup. The Baltimore Ravens at the Pittsburgh Steelers, 1 o'clock on CBS. Ian Eagle on the call.
Ian Eagle has a great chest.
He'll be joined by Charles Davis and Evan Warner.
The lobby is bustling. There is an energy here.
Let's go to Tennessee, 1 o'clock as well. The Vikings and the Titans. Spiro Didi's on the call.
That is Antetokounmpo.
He'll be joined by Adam Archuleta.
Adam Golden Archuleta.
And Aditi Kinkwabala.
Joe Flacco, do you ever age?
Oh, 4:05 game you dream about. Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons at the Denver Broncos. Kevin Kugler has the duty.
And it's caught! It's a touchdown!
It's a Super Bowl rematch.
Daryl Johnson. What's his nickname? That's right.
Double moose.
Laura Oakman on the sideline.
I love the love.
4:05 in San Francisco, the Seahawks and the 49ers. Joe Davis on the call.
Oh my gosh!
He'll be joined by Greg Oiz.
I'm aggressive by nature.
And Pam Oliver.
I will accept gifts at every single stadium.
What you're saying, how did Jim Nantz not call the Ravens?
I'll tell you why.
And the Steelers? Well, that's because it's 4:25, and on CBS, we have the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills. Oh, yeah. Hello, friends.
Tony.
Jim Nantz with Tony Romo.
Nance needs a bathroom break.
And Tracy Wolfson on the side.
Oh, a little feistiness.
Including the playoffs, Patrick Mahomes is 12-1-1 against the spread in his career as an underdog, 11-3 outright with 5 straight wins. The Bills are 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 games as favorites. Sunday Night Football, the Bengals and the Chargers, 8:20 on NBC. Mike Tirico.
They still seem to resonate.
There are 3 teams.
He'll be joined by Chris Collinsworth.
He looks like he weighs about 200 pounds from the waist down.
and Melissa Stark.
Bro, you guys suck.
The Bengals are 5-0 against the spread on the road this season. The Chargers are 4-0 against the spread at home this season. Oh, something's got to give.
Yeah.
We'll be right back here in the building that I'm in right now on Monday Night Football for the Texans and the Cowboys. ABC and ESPN, Joe Buck on the call.
So we'll welcome you in the booth just to prove that we're still here.
Troy Aikman.
He is so hot inside.
And Lisa Salters.
Welcome to the playoffs.
Dude,
we, of course, have a Manning cast that Don won't watch, or Dan maybe. The Cowboys are 0-4 outright and against the spread at home this season. The Texans are 5-10 against the spread. This game should be 9:30 Sunday, not Monday Night Football. That'll do it for your NFL announcer lineup, Week 11 and ENN, brought to you by our dear friends over at Security Dodge. Go on ahead. Go see them. Show them love. Shop 24/7 at securitydodge.com during their Black Friday sales event.
Blew through a break like it's never been done in 22 years on the show. We'll be back on Yes and 880 ESPN.
From all of us at Maurice's, we wish you the most wonderful season of all. Weekly style drops and amazing gifts in stores and at Maurices.com.
That energy you get from a perfect fit is real. It's that I am owning this suit kind of real. And when it really fits, the world sees it. So get used to the spotlight. You live there now.
With Harry's, you get a smooth shave at a great price because you get all of this for as low as $2 per refill, half of what the other guys charge. Wake up to Harry's. Get your trial set for just $7 at harrys.com/fresh.
Elevate your everyday energy with the delicious taste of Spark. With classic flavors like strawberry and mandarin orange to bold fruit fusions like cranberry peach orange and fruit punch, you'll never have flavor fatigue. Use code FLAVOR to get a free sample pack with your first order of Spark.
This is The History of Glasses by Warby Parker. A theory of optics emerges in Egypt. Then for a while, not much happens, with glasses at least. A millennium later, the first pair is made near the Leaning Tower of Pisa. It had just started leaning. Glasses exist now. People can see, but they're more expensive than they need to be. So we start Warby Parker. We cut out the middleman to design higher quality eyewear for an actually fair price. Shop it at home, in stores, even virtually. It's the 21st century, not medieval Italy. That's the history of glasses and the future. Come see at warbyparker.com.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always, so you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
Switch to Square and join over 4 million businesses worldwide. Switch to fast setup and even faster checkouts. Switch to making every sale the way you want and the way they want, too. Switch to one system connecting every tool to every task, even as your business grows. Gain time and peace of mind with tools that bring everything together. Switch to Square today. Visit square.com to get started.
Want to turn hair loss into hair gains? With Hims, discover a range of prescription treatments in a variety of convenient forms, like the quick-drying 4-in-1 spray. Products are formulated with doctor-trusted ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil, so you can stop hair loss and regrow hair in just 3 to 6 months for more confident hair days. Regain thicker, fuller hair now. Get started today at hims.com.
With Udemy, there's a world of possibility at your fingertips. With one click, you're in the leading online marketplace for learning and skills. Want to become an AI expert? This is learning from real-world experts around the globe. Want to awaken your artistic side? This is learning your way. Want to switch professions? Help your team reskill? This is Udemy, the power of possibilities.
People often ask me, when's the best time to start investing for my future? And I always say, there's no time like now. If you had started with $5 a day 10 years ago at a hypothetical 8% return, you could have over $25,000 now. Invest those $5 now. Acorns, grow your oak now.
Check it out. Time to show your Nets pride. I'm coming for the crown. In the battle of the boroughs. Follow the fun and sound off on Gotham Sports Socials as crosstown rivals play their first game of the NBA Cup. We got Nets versus Knicks tonight at 7 on Yes and streaming on the Gotham Sports app.
Coming for the crown, this is shut down.
What if you went to your secret hiding place and found this? All drug use comes with risk. Before those risks become real, know that you can quit. For help with drug use, call 1-800-662-HELP for free and confidential information and treatment referral, or go to samhsa.gov/knowtherisks.
Lincoln Park is coming to Barclays Center on July 29th and Prudential Center on August 3rd of 2025. ESPN New York has your chance to score tickets to the venue of your choice on the ESPN New York app. Just scroll down the contest, submit your entry. Brought to you by Live Nation. Tickets go on sale Thursday, November 21st at noon at Ticketmaster.com. Because of Peter's insistence of giving us the announcer lineup for every single game this weekend, we've got to go right back to a break. We apologize for that. We'll come back with a big 5 o'clock hour.
I mean, you could just go over
football. No, we can't do it. My producer's telling me the way to do it.
You don't listen to him all the time.
I listen to him all the time. You guys don't.
Wow.
Oh, God.
Leave me out of this. I didn't do it.
Well, you enjoy the announcer lineup.
I love
you
it.
revel in it.
I
You
love
bathe in
I appreciate your support.
I'd roll in it.
Yeah, I know. I'm rolling this. We'll be back right here on Yes and ESPN.
It's big, it's back, and it's only $6. Get the big box y'all love today. And this holiday season, you can order a Cajun-style turkey at your local Popeyes.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Welcome to Nissan. Are you interested in
test drive?
Absolutely.
There's the all-new Kicks, the new V6-powered Frontier, and the Nissan Rogue. Consumer Guide's Best Buy 10 years in a row.
Finished with all your holiday shopping?
We are now. Hurry in to the Nissan year-end sales event. Now, get a low $229 per month lease on Rogue, one of 6 Nissan vehicles with starting MSRP under $30,000.
Do you suffer from knee pain? Ever been diagnosed with osteoarthritis? Or worried about the risks involved with knee surgery?
It hurt all the time, like the nerves were rubbing against each other.
I was at the point of either replace my knees because I'm tired of this pain.
Get the relief you need without surgery. We're Arthritis Knee Pain Centers, the premier leaders in non-surgical knee pain treatments. Instead of surgically replacing your knees, our state-of-the-art procedures replenish the depleted natural cushioning in your joints with an FDA-approved shock shock-absorbing gel without surgery and without downtime.
After the first injection, I knew it was going to work.
We've successfully treated thousands of patients. Medicare and most private insurance cover this procedure.
Full motion, no pain, walking, everything just back normal like it used to be.
Locations in Garden City, Smithtown, and Wall, New Jersey. Call 1-800-834-5911 for a no-charge, no-obligation knee pain assessment or go to arthritis-kneepain.com.
If you're an asbestos victim, pay close attention. Billions of dollars are being paid out to people like you. We should know. We're Whites in Luxembourg, the law firm that already won over $9 billion for men and women just like you. That's right, over $9 billion for mesothelioma sufferers and their families. We know you're short of money, and we know you're short of time, so we fight hard. Call Whites in Luxembourg at 917-LAWYERS. That's 917-LAWYERS. Whites in Luxembourg, winning big for the little guy.
Yes Network is now streaming on Fubo. Watch the Nets and more of your local teams. Streaming live on all your devices. Plus, over 350 top channels. Start watching at FuboTV.com.
Baby, oh, can't you make up your mind? Just wasting my time, yeah.
Dear Santa, I hope you are having a good day in the North Pole. Is it cold all the time there? Is that why your cheeks are so rosy? I bet all of your reindeer are very excited. All right, guys. Is their beard long? My dad's is scratchy. My mom says I'm a good helper. But you didn't come last year. Was my chimney broken? Or did you forget? I do that sometimes. I just really hope this year when I wake up, I'm gonna see that you came to my house too.
Donate to Toys for Tots and help the Marines deliver hope to a child in need.
Here on the K Show, we make our picks during the 5 o'clock hour. So we like to start off the hour with the guy who knows what he's talking about and can give us pertinent information that will help us in our endeavor to pick correctly. And that is the great Joe Fortenbaugh. Hello, Joe.
Gentlemen, a pleasure as always. Thanks so much for having me on the show. I hope you're all doing very well.
We are doing well. Now, before we get into your picks, I know that you'll be at the Garden tomorrow. Tell me about this fight. Are you excited about it, and who are you leaning toward?
Well, here's the crazy thing, and this is going to blow people's minds. This is going to be my first time at Madison Square Garden.
What? Really?
I have been all over the place. I grew up in Allentown, Pennsylvania. I've seen 19 NFL stadiums. I saw the Tour de France. I have never been to Madison Square Garden. I have no idea how it worked out this way. I didn't spend a lot of time in New York when I was young. I put that on my parents naturally. So I am stoked to get over there for this because I have never been to the Mecca. I've always wanted to see a Knicks game, a Rangers game. I want to do the whole thing. I am going to go see Fish during their New Year's Eve run, but that'll be next month. So I get to go to the Garden. It's a bucket list item for me. John Jones is fighting. He's the greatest of all time. This could be the last fight. Main event, Stipe Miocic, who's considered to be the greatest heavyweight of all time. It's a fantastic card. The undercard right before that, Oliveira and Chandler, that's all gas, no brakes, man. I bet that fight to end in the first round, which is plus 120. As for the main, you don't bet against John Jones, but I'm not really interested in laying the minus 750, so I'm just playing a little prop there. Jones to win the fight in the third round is 6-1. That's how I'm going to attack it.
Now, you mentioned that you're going to see Fish during the holidays.
I love
so we to assume that you're a big, marijuana guy.
Well, that's an interesting way to phrase that question, but I think, your audience, you're all smart and sophisticated enough to probably understand how certain things correlate, how certain things may go together. But that's pretty much the evasive way I'll address that question.
I'll tell you what, though, looking at you, I mean, if you said $1 million, tell me if he's a pothead or not, I'd say no. So I'm shocked right now.
Well, you still actually didn't get an answer on that, just for the record, for everybody out there. But I appreciate where you go. Thank you very much.
And by the way, the fight of which he speaks at Madison Square Garden, Don, how could people consume that tomorrow if they're not at the Garden?
Well, they can consume it on ESPN Plus pay-per-view. ESPN Plus pay-per-view.
One more time for Phil.
ESPN Plus pay-per-view.
All right, let's get to the picks, Joe. Let's talk about college first.
All right, we'll go with 3 college this week, and then I'll slide a couple bonus ones in there. Florida plus 3.5 over LSU. Major flat spot incoming for LSU. They come off their bye week. They play their most hated rival. They get absolutely blown out. It's their 3rd loss of the season, and while they're mathematically not done, I think in that locker room they know the chances of making the playoff are pretty bleak. Guys might be thinking about transferring, all that stuff. Meanwhile, here's Florida. They're still playing hard late in the season. Took Tennessee to overtime, walloped Kentucky, hung pretty tight with Georgia. We'll take Florida plus the 3.5. Game number 2, Kansas plus 2.5 over BYU. Kansas is the unluckiest team in college football. They're 0-5 in one-score games. And because it's a shaky record, they get priced like a bad team. They're not a bad team. They hammered Iowa State last week. And now they're going to face the BYU team that's priced a certain way because they're undefeated. BYU's good, but they're 4-0 in one-score games. That's a metric that points to some regression as well. We'll go ahead and play Kansas there. Don't be surprised if they spring the outright upset. And then finally, I'll lay the big number 28 with Penn State. I want you to pay attention to teams that are ranked 5 to 11. Those teams are currently involved in a beauty pageant. You got to make it look good. You got to run up some of these points. You got to impress the committee, especially if you're Penn State, when you have no big games left on the schedule. You had one big game and you lost it, so you got to make it look good. So the 3 picks would be Florida plus 3.5, Kansas plus 2.5, Penn State minus 28. I do like a shootout in Texas, Arkansas as well, over 57.5. Arkansas coming off their bye. I think the Texas defense is overrated, but I do think the Texas offense can hang a big number here.
Well, let's go to the place where they pay for play, or they play for pay.
All right. Yeah. Who's the pothead now, Kay?
There you go.
All right, so back to the issue at hand. Pittsburgh plus the 3. A rule of thumb, when Tomlin faces Harbaugh, you bet the underdog. 23-6-3 against the spread, the underdog in this series. Baltimore's pass defense will be the weakest unit on the field. Lamar Jackson, in his career, 4 total touchdowns against Pittsburgh. 4. That's running and passing. They know how to play him. I think Russ has a pretty big game. You could probably go over 224.5 passing yards. We'll go Pittsburgh plus 3. Sunday Night Football, Cincinnati plus 1.5 over the Chargers. Everybody's starting to love the Chargers now, right? Look at the Chargers. Look at where they rank defensively. Number 1 defense. Harbaugh's done a great job. They're not the best defense in the NFL. They are beating up on a ton of bad offenses. This is the best offense they've faced by a mile. I like Cincinnati because I think they're underpriced in this game. Give me the Bengals. And then finally, pick number 3, Cleveland plus 1.5 at the Saints. Saints had the dead coach bounce last week. They win the game. They surprise everybody. Well, Koo missed 3 field goals for Atlanta. All right, Atlanta had plenty of opportunities to win it. They blew it. Now the Saints are riding high. Cleveland's off their bye week. The injury report is 100% healthy. This is the best it's been for them all season long. Good spot for the Browns. So the recap, Steelers plus 3, Cincinnati plus 1.5, Browns plus 1.5.
Now let me give you some tout. You ready? At the Garden tomorrow, go to the stand and get yourself chicken fingers. You'll start to cry. It's so good.
Really?
It's a big part of the Garden experience.
Now, one thing I've heard, and you talked about this with me and Carlin before, you tend to eat, I don't want to say like a child, but you do eat like a child. Is that correct?
You should say
that is
I eat
correct.
like a child. It is very
correct. Don't feel bad.
Yeah. Well, I thought I remember you telling us that. So you would know a good set of chicken fingers.
Oh, I mean, I pretty much exist on chicken fingers, yeah.
All right, I'll be sure to give them a try. I appreciate the recommendation.
Will you have access to our suite?
I am going to be wherever the ESPN suite is at, I believe. We have 2 of them. One of them is to shoot shows, so we're going to be doing some pre-shows. You can check all that out on the YouTube channel. We're going to have a full breakdown, the bets, the picks. You're going to see guys like Chael Sonnen there, Daniel Cormier. It's going to be a great crew. And then there's the suite next to it for all the high-level people that will be attending. I will not be invited into that suite. I will be in the workers suite. I want to make that very clear.
Well, so the high-level people, you're talking like Jimmy Pitaro and Burke Magnus and the like? That high level?
I have no idea what guest list looks like. There's a rumor that a certain prominent talking head on ESPN might be making his way to the Garden. I don't know. Wow. I do look forward to seeing who it is, but I just, if you're thinking about going to this and you're in New York, go to it. If you've never been to one of these, they're absolutely incredible. It's not just showing up for the main event. They got a 5-fight main card that's on the pay-per-view, but the early prelims are free. You got like 12, 13 fights. They put a bunch of good fighters on there. All right, the undercard is really good, and this stuff live is incredible, especially if you have some action on it. I highly recommend it. It's literally my favorite thing to bet because, like in football, you can be trailing in the third quarter. You know you got time to get back in it. The fight can end any second. I love the rush of that.
Help us out, because it seems like every week Vegas seems to love the Jets, and every week they disappoint. Are you surprised that they're a 4-point favorite against the Colts? Is it all just because of the change of quarterback for Indy?
No, it's we get a team like this every couple years in Vegas where this is all based on power ratings, okay? These guys have their power ratings, and they look at some of these teams, and you guys, many people use the eye test. You look at the Jets, they look terrible. It's pretty easy to see. They find ways to blow games. They don't compete. But these metrics point to certain games where they've been unlucky or certain games where they've played well but they've come up short, and that points to a team being undervalued. Sometimes that can be very helpful, like what we talked about with Kansas over BYU. Kansas is undervalued, but Kansas plays hard. That's the problem with the Jets. You can tell me all day long they're undervalued. You could say that in the Cardinal game because that's how they were priced, but they didn't show up. And if I know the team has some quit in them, I'm not putting my money on them.
Good stuff, Joe. Enjoy the card tomorrow at the Garden. And you can, Don, where can you consume it if you're not at the Garden?
You can consume UFC 309 at Madison Square Garden on ESPN Plus pay-per-view. ESPN Plus pay-per-view. ESPN Plus pay-per-view.
Shameless shill. Thank you, Joe.
Gentlemen, it's always a pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Wow, we are really going to get ripped on Sunday.
Can't wait.
We really are. So much shilling.
Yeah, just tweet me and let me know because I'm not wasting my time to check.
You know what they did the other day? They did it yesterday. It's the first day they ever did it. They put Phil behind a paywall.
Right.
So you can't even read them now online.
So imagine to have to pay Peter to step in crap.
Wow, you really are fighting.
Oh, my Lord. Fighting what, Michael? Fighting what?
You're fighting
to get written about by a has-been that nobody reads? L.A., right. Capital G-R-E-C-A. There's a space between the A and the G. I don't care. Right. He might as well just write it up in the air. And now I got to pay for it? Nah, go screw.
Wait, he's fully behind a paywall?
So you know what? It's like his article was imprisoned.
I pay for the post, so I get it, but you can't get it early. Like you can't.
I cannot. I mean, you should start saying it different. You should say I pay for the sports page.
I do. No, I read page 6. I enjoy everything.
No. That's so. Let me say it again. Page 6 and the sports page.
I read everything. Rick DiPietro said we're missing, a part of the card tomorrow. He said on ESPN Plus you can also pay to watch Carlin fight his way out of his seat.
You know what? It's just, I won't do it. Don, are you a friend or not?
No, but
you don't laugh that way if you're a friend. You stop and you go, all right, that's not
the funny's
nice.
Funny. What am I supposed to do? It was wrong. I support Carlin.
Yeah,
but I'm sorry.
No, you don't. You don't
funny.
support him.
Calorie Carlin.
You got to respect the funny.
So many calories in a day.
You got to respect the funny.
You don't support him. You can't. Don't ever support me that way.
Colossal Carlin.
You didn't just
laugh.
So big.
This stuff.
Not me now.
But you did it before. You channeled to 45, 47.
Yeah, that was not now, though. The way that he
really laughed. He enjoyed it.
I mean, he didn't just laugh once. It's like he kept stopping and starting.
Yeah. Because I was trying to fight it, but it was just too funny. Michael, come on, you got to support me here.
Listen,
Funny's
as you
fun.
said, funny is funny.
Hold on. You want support from the monster man known as Michael Kay? He's not going to help you. He treats everyone like crap.
Wow, that's hurtful in its own right.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
No.
He buries everyone.
No. I thought it was very funny. You know I love Carlin.
You're a Carlin killer.
No, I'm not. You just called him Calorie Carlin.
I did not just call him that. I said it a long time ago.
Oh, so you've changed your mind? You're a flip-flopper?
I'm just saying that's an old joke. I don't believe that should be rehashed.
Oh, so anything in the past that a comedian said should be just washed away. Okay. You're sneaky funny. You really are. Tell me about 9%. Now, the Jets have a 9% chance to make the playoffs.
Yes.
According to ESPN Analytics. That's 21st in the NFL. I mean, has the analytic guys at ESPN watched the Jets play?
Well, because, again, the analytics don't take into account the quit and the dysfunction. So they're just going to give you all this, that, and the other thing. Well, they don't, obviously. Otherwise, you'd give them zero chance. But they're going to do all the metrics of if this happens, if that happens. And, yeah, I don't think they're going to lose out. So there's a very good chance they can win. They're home. Colts are, made another change at quarterback to a quarterback, by the way, that was too tired to play when he was pulled for Flacco. So would you be shocked if they beat the Colts? I'm not saying they'd cover the number. So now all of a sudden you got that's your fourth win. You got a Seahawk team out of the bye that lost to the Giants. So I think that their 9%'s not good.
Do you know what it was at the beginning of the year? This is shocking in its own right.
Go ahead.
It was 57%. I thought it would be much higher. Everybody was like going wild on him.
Well, because you obviously gave the Bills the favorite to win the division. So once you're stuck in trying to become one of the 3 wild card teams, that's going to bring the percentage down because now you're going up against the entire conference, and that's probably why it was under 60%.
But not everybody had the Bills as high as the Caster did.
I had the Jets winning the division, but you nailed that. Now, we'll see. The thing I'm more impressed with, Peter, is that if Allen wins MVP, which I think if the season ended today would be in the conversation.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Rick is rung in again.
Okay.
Oh, great.
He said, and I quote, where is it? Here we go. You are not a Carlin killer. Cholesterol is a Carlin killer.
You know what? It's disgusting. It's wrong.
Why?
And he keeps.
Now, here's where he loses me. It can't be funny if it's actually on the table.
Oh.
See?
So you don't think there's any way he fights his way out of a seat?
No. What I'm saying is now that kid, that was flying too close to the sun for Rick there. I do get concerned about Chris and his calorical intake.
I think Chris is in wonderful shape. He takes care of himself. He's just a big guy. Big bones. How about this stat? Everybody thinks that, Rodgers, it's just this year. It's just this year. He's had 32 consecutive starts with fewer than 300 passing yards. That's the longest active streak in the NFL. No other quarterback has an active streak of at least 20 starts. And that includes Zach Wilson. It's the longest streak of his career. So Dan Orlovsky brought this up. We all thought that the regression in Green Bay the last year was because of the broken finger. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it's just the normal aging process. He's an older quarterback, not as good as he was.
Give me the Jets record this year, Michael, at the end of the season, in your opinion.
So what are they now? 3-7. I think they'll be 6-11.
So that means the Zach Wilson-led Jets were better than the Aaron Rodgers-led Jets. And just think about that. That because they won 7. Now that wasn't all Zach Wilson, but certainly the guys behind Zach Wilson, Trevor Siemian and Tim Boyle weren't great shakes either. So Trevor Siemian, Zach Wilson, and Tim Boyle will produce one more win than Aaron Rodgers this year. Just wrap your mind around that. So what does that tell you? How bad Rodgers is, but maybe they played a little over their head last year. Maybe we overrated the rest of the team.
Maybe
Clearly,
Robert Saleh is a better coach than we think.
I think there's definitely, I really believe, as much as I don't think Robert Saleh was that great of a coach, that if he stayed the coach the rest of the season, I think he'd be worth at least 2 more wins. I think
the rest of the season.
I think they'd have I think that they would have
right
2
now
more,
already.
Right now, I think
so they'd be 5 and 5.
Which 2? Which 2 are you giving to him with Saleh?
I would say with the defensive breakdowns that you saw against Pittsburgh, and the Minnesota game was his last game, right? So not that there's I have to look and see. I thought there was at least, because I talked about it with Samini and he agreed. There's probably 2 more wins on the table. So I'm just trying to think of their most recent ones where the defense was really the culprit. Because the defense obviously is stunk, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that Ulbricht's now going to balance 2 jobs.
So Arizona, they're still losing.
Yes,
right. That's 31-6.
But would they get rolled that way?
Yeah, I think they beat the Steelers and the Patriots.
They lost to the Steelers badly.
Well, by the end, but they were in that game. But even if you just gave them the Patriot game, think about how much different. Just think about how much different that is considering the current climate. Some of the teams that we listed when we did the whole schedule of the teams battling for the 3 seed are 4 and 6. So they would be in a much better place. Again, I'm not talking up Saleh. I'm just saying the disruption of firing your coach in season was a ridiculous decision, and doubled down by the fact that you handed over the reins to a guy that had never done it before, and to triple down on it to give it to a guy that actually was doing a great, incredible job with the defense, and now that's been sacrificed. So I am not apologizing for Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is a major culprit why they're in the situation that they're in. But the firing of Saleh, I think, is also right there. I think this defense would have played better. Even if you give them 1 more win, guys, they're alive. And I would give them a better chance to navigate through the rest of the schedule if everything had stayed the same. We're talking about a team, Joe said it well, that's quit. They quit because they don't have a coach to prop them up anymore. And what does that do? They liked Saleh. They played for Saleh last year. As you said, Michael, they won 7 games last year with 3 awful quarterbacks. And now a Hall of Famer can't win 7?
You know, the worse they are this year, like if they finish like limping to the finish line, Saleh will get another head coaching job. I mean, his reputation gets burnished if they continue to stumble.
It does, but again, I feel weird talking about it because it sounds like I'm saying that he's a good coach. I'm not saying that. I don't think he's that great of a coach. But he seemed to be doing a decent enough job kind of keeping it together.
People get better in their second job. Bill Belichick wasn't a great coach with the Browns.
I know, but you know what, Michael? I was having this conversation off the air. I don't remember if Peter was there or not. That take a look at the landscape of New York sports of coaches that get second chances after failing in New York, and one that I can come up with is Pete Carroll. You know, but otherwise, a lot of these guys don't get other gigs. None of the giant guys that got fired.
Well, Mangini got another job, right?
Yeah, and he failed almost immediately in Cleveland.
Yeah.
You know, Rex got a job in Buffalo, failed there. Like, there really isn't there isn't too many second lives for coaches after they fail in New York. Pete Carroll's the one I thought of. He went on to have maybe a Hall of Fame career as a head coach after he was let go by the Jets. What was that, after the '94 season? But really, can you?
Well, yeah, right-handedly. No, he didn't.
not right-handedly.
If you're thinking of betting Jets and the Colts, I would like to tell you the Colts are 7-3 against the spread this season. Tied for the 5th best against the spread record in the NFL. So this is really an elimination game. The team that loses, all hope is gone. I think it's gone now, but all hope would be gone.
Why am I tempted to take the Jets?
Because you're a lunatic.
Because I don't think they're going to. Here's what it is, Peter. You're wondering why I'm thinking about it.
Don, why are you thinking about it?
It has nothing to do with any of the numbers, because the numbers all point that you should take the Colts. Because I just don't think the Jets are going to go away quietly just to mess with us.
Oh, you mean out of the sake of being annoying, Rodgers will play like a half-decent game, good enough to win. He'll have a moment with Devontae Adams where you're like, oh, my God, did they find it? But when you look at the stats on Monday, it really wasn't terribly impressive, but they get the win, and now we're back in the conversation. I could see that.
Because, you know what, the Jet thing to do is not to lose out. That's not the Jet thing to do. The Jet thing to do is win just enough to just miss.
So it's an Al Pacino move. Just when I thought it was out.
Would you be that shocked if at some point this season, and it'll probably happen Monday if they beat the Colts, we'll hear it, there's a path. I'm telling you, they're not going to go away that quietly, man.
Hey, the NBA Cup is back. You can win big getting in on.
With Home Chef's new family menu, cooking for the whole family is so simple. You go from step 1 to done with practically no fuss. Simply prep, cook, and enjoy with the whole family. Get 18 free meals today at homechef.com.
There's a new side to Away. A side that's good looking and has all the features Away is known for. It's soft, not sensitive, but tougher than you might think. The wait is over.
Now arriving, soft side suitcases from Away.
1. These cuts have likely been sitting out all day long. 2. You have no idea when they were packaged or where they came from. That's why we choose to get our protein from ButcherBox instead. This is high quality meat you can trust and enjoy. It's packed and conveniently sent straight to your door, so you don't even have to think about your next grocery trip. Stock up your freezer and whip up a quality meal every night by checking out butcherbox.com.
We just signed the lease on our 3rd shop. I guess we're a chain now, right? We've worked so hard to get here. My assistant went to customink.com to get our new uniforms and merch with all the location names. Our custom gear helps him get our brand out into the community. He takes care of all of our custom ink orders. He was able to find great products, upload the new art, and have boxes sent directly to each of the shops. Custom Ink makes it so easy. Get started today at customink.com.
I chose Upstart because I was on financial aid for school. It did run out. Once I found Upstart, I was kind of relieved. They're interested in my background. They were looking at more than just my credit score. I was able to get my money fast. I was able to consolidate all of those credit cards into one payment and raise my credit score so that I was able to make that move right after college.
Switch to Square and join over 4 million businesses worldwide. Switch to fast setup and even faster checkouts. Switch to making every sale the way you want and the way they want, too. Switch to one system connecting every tool to every task, even as your business grows. Gain time and peace of mind with tools that bring everything together. Switch to Square today. Visit square.com to get started.
Where'd you get those shoes? The ones that set the vibe for the whole night. That make the exact right first impression. And have a way of thriving in any condition. A shoe for every you. At DSW.
It was a game day, so I had to wear my whole cheer attire.
It was a clumsy kiss. Like I had sweat beads coming down my face. If I could do it again, I probably would have had a sweat rag.
I would probably have it done at the beach.
Keeping your lips smooth since before you knew how to use them.
Do it again?
Yes.
American Humane have been helping animals for more than 140 years. Whether it's rescuing animals caught in disasters, ensuring the safety of animal stars on screen, or protecting our planet's endangered species. They go above and beyond to further their mission and make the world a kinder place for animals. Please consider adopting a shelter pet and support American Humane. You can learn more at AmericanHumane.org.
My dad, he's a double amputee, and he's one of my favorite people in the world. To me, a hero is someone who fights for our country and freedom. My dad is a hero. Onshore troops built this house, and it's basically made for him. My dad can get through the wide doorways. When he is making our lunch, he can reach anything we need. He'll help me build tiny projects. Life is good here. Without Homes for Our Troops, we'd be living in a home that didn't have all these features that helped him.
Homes for Our Troops builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans and enables them to rebuild their lives.
If they get a new house like this one, it'll help them do normal life. My dad's not just a hero, he's my hero.
Join our mission at hfotusa.org.
Ethan was shot in the head in his best friend's house with an unsecured gun. The father, the gun owner, he stored his 3 guns and bullets in a shoebox. That has to be the most horrific experience that a human could ever have.
Chemical Romance with special guest Death Cab for Cutie are coming to MetLife Stadium on Saturday, August 9th. That's in 2025. ESPN New York has your chance, so score tickets on the ESPN New York app. Just scroll down to contests and submit your entry. Brought to you by Live Nation. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. We have the Knicks and the Nets. 2 games they'll play this weekend. One at Barclays Center, one at the Garden tonight. The Knicks...
No, I think both are at the Garden.
Both are at the Garden?
I believe so.
Wow.
Double check that if you can, Anthony. I believe
yeah, Anthony said yes.
No, they're both at the Garden.
That's odd.
Isn't that odd?
Alan says that it's done by the NBA to try and limit travel.
Oh, my
now,
God, that is just asinine.
Now, that may make sense with other teams.
Limit travel to Brooklyn?
No, not. It's an overall thing of, let's say, the
So
Hawks
they shoved
play
it
the Nets.
into an algorithmic in the computer, and that's what it spat out.
And they said, hey, let's make sure the Knicks and Nets don't have to travel to each other twice. So let's...
Now, the Devils were in Florida back-to-back games. That makes sense because New Jersey and Fort Lauderdale are a fair distance apart, but Brooklyn and Manhattan, Michael, last I checked,
pretty close.
Very close.
Yeah, just over the Brooklyn Bridge or the Manhattan Bridge. Wow. Or the Brooklyn Battery. Wow. Anyway, the Knicks have underwhelmed, although I'm not concerned at all. Everybody always asks that. I'm not concerned one bit. They're a new team with 2 new starters, so they're trying to work their way around that and work their way around the fact that they don't have great depth. So they're trying to establish depth as well. But a surprise that because there's so much going on, Don, that we haven't given that much love to the Nets. The Nets have outplayed everybody's expectations. They've been so good. And remember, they have all those draft picks, so I don't think, Jordi Fernandez in his first NBA head coaching job wants to tank. But if you ask Sean Marks, the GM, he'd like them to lose more games than they win because they'd have a chance at maybe getting Cooper Flagg or, getting a high draft pick. But the way it is right now, Don, they keep playing like this, they're going to have to trade Dennis Schroeder. Because Dennis Schroeder's been too good. He's in the last year of his contract. He would be an attractive piece for some team that needs a veteran. On the Nets, he's only hurting the cause by having them win because they are a pretty good team right now. They play hard for Jordi Fernandez, and that's the most important thing, to get your team to play hard. He's a well-respected young coach. The Nets have been a surprise for me. They really have. So I'm intrigued of watching these 2 games.
I just don't know how to rate it because you just see that there's a lot of teams, Michael, they're just not engaged early in the season. And we talked about this with the Knicks over the last couple of years. The Knicks were a team that would always bring it every single night, which really helped them because they would finish higher than maybe they should because they could take advantage of some of these teams taking nights off. Like the Nets are playing hard, and that's going to benefit you in November. Is it sustainable? Probably not. So I think at some point it's going to start to crumble here. I'm sure Net fans want to see at least be able to navigate through the next couple of games against the Knicks, especially the game tonight for the in-season tournament. I just don't know how sustainable it is. And it's really difficult to grade these early season games, Michael. I just don't know who's in and who's out. Cleveland certainly is great, and Boston's great by the way that they've started. But are they bringing it every night? Are these teams taking some of these games really seriously in November? You already got the NBA talking about having a tournament for the All-Star game, and they're trying everything to kind of prop up these regular season games, and it just seems to benefit teams like the Nets that actually seem to care. But how good are they really? I don't know.
Don mentioned the possible. This is more than tweaks. Tweaks are tweaks. This is a seismic change of what they're considering with the All-Star game, which will be in San Francisco this year at the Chase Center. They are in serious, according to Sham Sharania, NBA in serious discussions on a new tournament-style format for the All-Star game, consisting of 3 All-Star teams of 8 players each and the winner of the Rising Stars game. Now, the 4 teams would face each other in matchups. For instance, Team 1 against Team 3 and Team 2 against Team 4, and the winners move on to the final round of the tournament. So I love the fact that Adam Silver is not taking this lying down, how bad their All-Star game is. But, Don, from what I just told you, is that going to engage the players more?
I doubt it.
Are they going to play defense? Well,
No.
They've given them more money for winning. Nothing. Last year, the major force of the All-Star game was have the players play hard. They had Larry Bird come in and talk. They had, and it was in Indianapolis, you know, the heartland of basketball, and they didn't. They played a garbage game with no defense, and it was a joke. It was a circus act. And although I give them credit for trying, I don't know how this makes them play harder, Don.
I don't either. Like I give him credit for trying, but God, why do you have to do so much? Where are we with this league right now in the regular season All-Star game? Like, to try to get players to want to play, that seems the All-Star game. I get they don't care,
right?
Flat out, they don't care. But I don't see where they're going to be extra motivated for that. Maybe some. I don't know. And is anybody going to be really interested in it? I don't know.
I don't think so.
You know, credit for trying, I guess. But
I mean, I look at it and I go, yawn. Let's go to Breezy in the truck. Breezy.
Y'all forgetting about Todd Bowles, man.
Good call. Yep. Todd Bowles has been successful with Tampa Bay.
Pete, enjoy the fight, bro. Y'all fellas enjoy y'all weekend, man. I'll let you later.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
Todd Bowles has done a terrific job with Tampa. I don't know if he'll get to the promised land with them, but they've definitely overachieved since he's been there. That's a good call.
Yeah, and we had forgotten that. Richard in Manhattan. Richard.
Michael, you mentioned the Columbia Gym yesterday, Levy and Gym. You know, that opened in 1974. Now, that wasn't the original gym. That was not supposed to be the gym. In 68, Columbia was supposed to build a gym in Morningside Park. And they scrapped it because of the student protest, and that was one of the bones of contention. Students did not want the school taking over Harlem and putting a gym, although the school did say they would allow the neighborhood people to come in. They'd have a separate entrance in the bottom of the Morningside Park. But do you know the plans for that gym? Do you know what they became?
No, what?
Jadwin Gym, the Princeton Gym, is designed. That was the Columbia Gym. So if you ever been to the Jadwin Gym at Princeton, beautiful gym, that would have been the Columbia Gym in Morningside Park. Fellas, you're talking about the Garden a lot lately, the Madison Square Garden. Quick quiz. It's not stress-related, Michael. Nothing stress. You know, the Garden opened in 68, the new Garden, February of 68. And the Knicks did not play the first professional basketball game there. Do you guys know why?
No, why?
Because in those days, Michael, they played double headers. That was because they didn't get good attendance at games. So I think it was Baltimore versus Philadelphia 76ers played the 6:30 game, and then the Knicks played the second game, and that was the first game at Madison Square Garden. In those days, up until the early 70s, very prevalent double headers. One last thing. I would love to introduce what I call a Lombardi rule in the NFL. First of all, in deference to Vince Lombardi, the greatest coach and product of your school, Fordham University. Now, here's how it would go. In 67, Don, you would love this, and your dad would really love it. In the Ice Bowl, 6 seconds left. They're down 17-14, Green Bay. Of course, right now, anyone would have said you have to go for the tie. You go for the field goal and go for the tie and go into overtime. Lombardi did not go for the tie. He went for the win. So this is what I would propose in the NFL. If there's 10 seconds or less left in the game, you cannot go for a game-winning, a game-tying field goal or point after. So at the end of the game, if you want to go for the 1 point to tie the game, no good. If it's at their last play. But only with 10 seconds or less left in the game. In other words, you can go for a game-winning field goal if the field goal will win the game, but not to tie the game. You have to. So if it's at the 40-yard line with 8 seconds left, you can't go for a 60-yard field goal. You have to go for a Hail Mary. I would call it the Lombardi rule in deference to Vince Lombardi, and I think it would be great. It would settle games.
Thanks,
Fellas, always a pleasure. Thank you.
What is so wrong with overtime?
I like overtime. I don't like the fact that they allow games to end in ties. It doesn't happen that often, but
you know, the whole idea they'll settle the game. Well, they have a chance to settle the game in overtime.
Right. Let's go to David in Gravesend.
Hi, David.
Hello, David.
Hi. I'm so ecstatic I'm talking to you guys. I mean, I've been trying so long. Michael, would you bear with me just for a minute? I grew up in 1959, and I got to see Mickey Mantle play in 67, and it meant a lot to me. I started reading your book, Center Stage. I'm enjoying the read. It's really good.
Thank you.
Okay. Michael, the question I have for you real quickly, I mean, I'm old school, and, you can tell Don and Pete, New York has changed a lot over the years. But I remember Ralph Houck and, Joe Torre always wearing the Yankee uniform, full pinstripes in the dugout. And now, not just Aaron Boone, but these managers, they just don't wear the uniform. And I just think that players, they should set an example, that they should be wearing the full uniform. And I watched the Yankees. I think he's worn the uniform maybe twice or 3 times the entire time.
No, that's not
true.
Anyway,
I just wanted your thoughts, Michael, about
well,
that.
I think I don't give much thought to that because I don't think they have to wear uniforms, and it started with Buck Showalter. Tony La Russa always wore that windbreaker. Buck Showalter did as well. Aaron Boone wears the pinstripes on opening day. He wears it on Old Timers Day, and he does most of the time have the uniform underneath the sweatshirt or whatever he's wearing. I mean, why does that matter, man? I mean, I don't want to diminish what you're saying, but does Eric Spoelstra wear a Miami Heat uniform?
Oh, it's funny because
do the players not respect him because he's not in shorts and a tank top?
It's funny because the caller said old school. You want to really kick it old school? Go back to Connie Mack and wear a suit. I guess the reason they wear uniforms is because they're the only manager / head coach that is permitted to be on the field. I guess that's why.
Yeah, but you're permitted if you're an NBA coach to be on the court if you argue something.
No, you're not really. I mean, if you're arguing something, you want to go argue. But I'm saying the manager has to go out to change a pitcher. So there are reasons to go out onto the field of play. There's really no reason to go onto the field of play in other sports other than there being injury. There's nothing strategic that would send Spoelstra out to the court other than to break up a fight or argue with an official, which you'll probably get fined for. Right, a hockey coach doesn't jump onto the ice unless something's really wrong. But part of the strategy of baseball is the manager has to go out and change the pitcher. I'm assuming that's why. But like you talk about tradition, but really I think it's ridiculous that you have some of these like 70-year-old men wearing stirrups in a baseball uniform. I think it's kind of, when you look at it, it's a joke.
Listen, maybe I'm just getting too old for this, but why does that bother anybody?
I don't know, and only in baseball,
really,
right?
Why does it bother anybody?
Only in baseball.
And I mean, if you really want to make yourself feel dumb about that, Aaron Boone, has a pacemaker and he's cold all the time, so he puts a windbreaker on. He puts a sweatshirt on. That's one of the reasons. But Buck Showalter always wore that pullover. He's the one who really started it with the Yankees.
It's funny that, and listen, God bless the caller, but, as far as being, quote-unquote, disrespectful, I can't think of two people that respect the game more than Aaron Boone and Buck Showalter. Yeah. So it's certainly not out of disrespect.
I don't I do know that I got a 3-point pick yesterday, and Peter lost his 3-point pick. So this is a glorious time for me. I'm 8 points ahead of him. I can't even see him in my rearview mirror. That's how far back he is.
That was a big day for you.
That was a huge day, Don. I mean, I was so joyful.
That's also
and I'm not very happy very often. So that was beautiful for me. Beautiful. I felt great about it, and I've got 2 more great picks to round it out. We'll make our picks when we come back. Also, we'll take phone calls at 6 o'clock, 1-800-919-3776. It's Kayla Greco-Rosenberg and you right here on Yes and 880 ESPN.
There's no place like the road home. Receive a $5,500 bonus on the new 2024 Audi Q5 plug-in hybrid during the Season of Audi sales event.
It's big, it's back, and it's only $6. Get the big box y'all love today. And this holiday season, you can order a Cajun-style turkey at your local Popeyes.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Everywhere but the seat. The seat is leather.
Alan, we get it. You love your bike. We do too. That's why we're America's #1 motorcycle insurer. But do you have to wedge it into everything?
What? I don't do that. This reminds me of my bike. The Wolf was about the size of my new motorcycle. Have you seen it, by the way? Happy birthday, Grandma!
Really?
Look how the brushstrokes follow the line of the gas tank. Hey! Brought my +1. Jamie.
Visit linkedbylovetv.org to learn more about kidney disease, transplantation, and prevention. Get the facts, get checked, and get healthy.
There's no place like the road home. Receive a $5,500 bonus on the new 2024 Audi Q5 plug-in hybrid during the Season of Audi sales event.
I'm Naheem Hines, professional football player and proud supporter of the Muscular Dystrophy Association. My mom was diagnosed with muscular dystrophy when I was 14, and I watched her struggle. But MDA helped her get the best treatments and care, and they also help kids like my buddy Ethan.
My name is Ethan. Thanks to the Muscular Dystrophy Association and people like you, I have more hope than ever before. From day one, they've treated me like family at my local care center. MDA is the only one that funds over 150 care centers across the U.S. to help provide state-of-the-art care for adults and kids like me.
MDA has been transforming the lives of people living with muscular dystrophy, ALS, and other related neuromuscular diseases. They fund the research for breakthrough treatments, care, and cures. And MDA provides support to thousands of families like mine and Ethan's in communities like yours. Thanks to MDA, kids and adults can live life to its fullest. Join us and learn more at MDA.org today.
Untuck It makes every guy look better. From tall to short, from big to slim. From our iconic button-downs for all shapes and sizes to a whole lot more. Try us today. Untuck It. We just make guys look better. Oh, and we make great styles for her, too. Shop the sale now at untuckit.com and more than 80 stores worldwide.
Nothing feels as good as driving a new Hyundai. And now you can get a great deal on your favorite model at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Plus, every Hyundai is backed by America's best warranty. Hurry to the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event before this offer ends. Make your next getaway your best one yet. Get an all-wheel drive Santa Fe for 1.99% APR for up to 72 months or lease for $269 a month. Hurry in.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
Check it out.
Time to show your Gotham pride.
Coming for the crowd.
As crosstown rivals collide in the Battle of the Boroughs. Plus, follow the fun and sound off on Gotham social media. We got Nets versus Knicks on Yes and the Gotham Sports app.
Coming for the crown, it's a shutdown.
New Yorkers are tough and work hard. Respect to those working or retired from hard jobs, living on a fixed income. Because making ends meet can be hard, but paying your energy bill shouldn't be. New York State and New York State Utilities have partnered to build New York Energy Advisor, a one-stop site to find programs and resources that lower your energy costs. It's quick, it's easy.
And then it's done.
Go to energyadvisor.ny.gov today.
Cancer is one journey no one should take on alone. Your support helps us bring together the best doctors and scientists, accelerating research that's leading to more effective treatments. Join us, and let's go further together.
He's in the lead. He has 42 points. He was 3-0 last week.
Yeah.
3-0. Peter was 1-2 last week for 2 points, and I was 1-2 for 3 points. So Peter's already behind the 8 ball, or we could call it the 3 ball, because he lost yesterday. Don with the big week will get to go first.
Can I just give you my picks?
No.
Can I get it out of the way? All right. Don't want you to think I'm cheating again, Michael.
No. Let Don make his picks. Let's follow decorum.
Anthony has my picks, just so you know. I don't want any accusations.
I'm going to go right up against Joe. Joe loves the Steelers. He threw a bunch of information out there and the history and all that. I just think the Ravens are a better team. And I look at this Steeler team, and I think they're a very good team. I don't think they're the Ravens. And I know that past tells you one thing, and Lamar Jackson doesn't perform well against Pittsburgh. It's a big boy time for the Steelers now. And they're home, I get it, but I think the Ravens are the better team. I'm going to take the Ravens to cover the 3 as my 1-point play in Pittsburgh against the Steelers, right up against Joe. My 2-point play, I'm going to go after the big kahuna guys. I got to put my money where my mouth is. I've been talking about how the Chiefs are just not that good. They're playing with fire. They can be had. Well, it's time for the Bills to show that Don LeGrec is right. Bills are home. They're getting to. Chiefs never cover anyway in the best of circumstances. I think the Bills are the team, the first team to beat the Chiefs. They can't keep this thing going. Buffalo is home. They want to show the world that they're for real. This is the chance to be able to do that. National game, 4:25. Chiefs have been playing with fire. They finally get burned. Bills win the game outright. They cover the 2 points as my 2-point play.
1, 2, 3-point play.
I'll go with Joe on this one because I think the Chargers are doing what mirrors. I know they're well coached. I just don't think that they're as good as people think they are. I think Cincinnati, much like San Francisco in the NFC, is going to be heard from in the second half of the season. And I'm getting points. I love Cincinnati in this, so much so I'm going to make it my 3-point play. I don't think the Chargers defense is that good. I think Cincinnati will score. And now it's big boy time. We're getting deeper into November, guys. Thanksgiving's right around the corner. Are the Chiefs ready to really show the world that they are an actual playoff team on national television against the Cincinnati team that I just know is way better than their record says they are? I like Cincinnati to win on the road in L.A. I'm getting a 1.5, and I'm going to make that my 3-point play.
So Peter and I had the identical record last week with 2 points, but since I'm ahead, I will go first.
That's nice.
Isn't that the way it works, Peter?
Yeah, no, it is.
My
He wanted to go first,
play,
but he was going last.
My 1 point play is, in fact, going to be the 49ers giving 6.5 to the Seahawks. Seattle has lost its last 6 games to San Francisco, all by at least 8 points. All by at least 8 points. Now, and in those games, 5-1 against the spread. Geno Smith is 0-5 straight up and against the spread against Kyle Shanahan, failing to cover by 8.8 points per game. So I thought that, the first game back from McCaffrey last week, a little sluggish. I think they'll turn him loose a little bit more. We have not seen the best of the 49ers yet. I think people are sleeping on them, saying automatically that the Lions are the best team. Lions are really good. 49ers are right there. My 2-point play, unfortunately, I'm going to have to agree with Don. I really do like Cincinnati in this one. 1.5 points over the Chargers. If you look at the Chargers, and Joe alluded to this as well, they've lost all 3 games that they've played against winning teams. All 3. Now, you could say, well, the Bengals are on a winning team. I look at the Bengals differently than a team that's under 500. They're a good team. They're 4-3, and that was after an 0-3 start. And the 2 of the 3 games that they've lost since that 0-3 start have been 1-score losses to the Ravens. So the Burrow is 18-17-1 against the spread after a straight-up loss, which they're coming off of. And since he was drafted, he's the best quarterback against the spread after a straight-up loss ahead of Jared Goff. The Chargers have covered 2 home games in a row. They have not covered 3 straight since 2014. So the Chargers are the team I'm going against. I'll take the Bengals as my 2-point play. So I've got the 49ers, the 1-point play, and the Bengals 2-point play. Peter.
1, 2, 3-point play. Well, let's just not waste any time. Cincinnati, 1-point play. Love them. Love them. Want to touch them. Want to be near them. Buffalo, 2-point play. Give me the Bills. That's right. 1, 2, 3-point play. Yeah, I love the Bills.
A lot into that. Let's get Bears pick.
Bears with the Bills, too. Loves the Bills.
Really? And how about 45-47?
He's on the Bills. Big on the Bills.
It's fake news. Well, I don't like Peter like this.
No.
No, listen, I'm despondent today. I mean, the truth is, I'll give you a little bit of insight. I have the exact same logic as Don. I do think Cincinnati at some point this year is coming to play. And if you look at the games they've lost really close games against good football teams. They're better than the Chargers. It's a game they got to win. I'll take Cincy. As for Buffalo, honestly, the reason I like them is kind of a negative. I feel like when it really counts, they always come up short against Kansas City, but I see them beating them in the regular season. This is the perfect spot for Kansas City to finally lose. You get Buffalo as a short number at home. I love them. That's it.
There you go. Yeah. So do we have Boone's pick?
No, we do not. I have not heard.
We have Ballard if you want.
We have Ballard. What's Ballard doing?
Yeah, all favorites for Ballard. 3 points, Texans -7. 2 points, Dolphins -7. Packers -5.
Oh, by the way, Bear just texted me.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Bear.
Yeah, sorry. He's going with the Lions -14.
He's going with the animal.
He loves the animal 1,000%. And this is surprising. I just heard from the 47th President of the United States. He is going with Jake Paul in a 5th-round decision. I said a 5th-round stoppage. I said we do football here, Mr. President. And he said, I don't care. I love Jake. Love Logan. Love the Pauls. I love Paul Walker. I love Walker, Texas Ranger. I love them all.
So he's going against his buddy Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's going right up against Mike. And now listen, I don't let my political affiliations out.
You never have.
Never have, never will. But it is an interesting choice going right up against my guy Mike Tyson. I feel a way about it.
And his guy too.
Yeah. I mean they although Mike did once accuse him of having an affair with Robin Givens.
No, I'm happy this wasn't brought up before the election.
No, it's old. It's old news.
Well, I mean, but if you revisit something like that, it could open up wounds.
That's not true.
All right, we're going to come back. We've got time to take some phone calls before Dan Grassa takes over at 6:30. So I'll give you the number. If you don't know it by now, shame on you. 1-800-919-3776. 1-800-919-ESPN. So give us a buzz. I've got some bad news for Peter. He's out of town. He might not know what happened, but I will tell him in just a moment. The NBA Cup.
ticket to winning the season. Gift the chance to win up to $1 million with holiday scratch-off games from the New York Lottery.
Dear non-stick surface, you're great for scrambling eggs, but to drive on, well, that's what it feels like when things get rough. Good thing we have amazing traction. Let's bond. Toyota all-wheel drive vehicles.
Get Black Friday savings all month long. Lease RAV4 with all-wheel drive for just $299 a month. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
It's big, it's back, and it's only $6. Get the big box y'all love today. And this holiday season, you can order a Cajun-style turkey at your local Popeyes.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Hi, Eric.
Hi, Mel. Is now good for a quick catch-up on your plan?
Yes, now's great.
Has anything changed since we last spoke?
You know what? Yes, I'm thinking more long-term.
Great. We'll make that change to your plan and adjust as needed.
This helps a lot.
Bye, Mel.
Bye. Make sense of your money with Citizens.
If you're an asbestos victim, pay close attention. Billions of dollars are being paid out to people like you. We should know. We're Whites in Luxembourg, the law firm that already won over $9 billion for men and women just like you. That's right, over $9 billion for mesothelioma sufferers and their families. We know you're short of money, and we know you're short of time, so we fight hard. Call Whites in Luxembourg at 917-LAWYERS. That's 917-LAWYERS. Whites in Luxembourg, winning big for the little guy.
We all want to feel safe when traveling. That's why if you see something that feels suspicious, such as an abandoned bag or erratic behavior from a passenger, just call 911. You can call anonymously, and it's okay if it turns out to be nothing. Work together with the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey to keep our transportation facilities safe. Visit PANYNJ.gov to learn more.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. Leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready? Explore teaching at teach.org.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
When your child needs her wisdom teeth out, how will you deal with the pain? Are opioids the answer? A child prescribed opioids is 16 times more likely to develop an opioid use disorder. In New Jersey, thousands of families lose a loved one to the opioid epidemic.
I am so sorry I didn't choose an alternative to opioids.
Don't let her toothache lead to your heartache. Be wise about wisdom teeth. Go to drugfreenj.org.
Visit linkedbylovetv.org to learn more about kidney disease, transplantation, and prevention. Get the facts, get checked, and get healthy.
Good job by me, but a great job by Peter.
Yep, Peter folded
Peter
out.
won the week. Peter won the week.
Good for you, Peter, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you should be very proud. Did you see that when the NBA, when NBC got part of the NBA for next year, they announced right away that they were going to bring back John Tesh's Round Ball Rock.
Yeah.
But now John Tesh is playing hardball, wants a lot of money, and they're thinking about backing out. And then the other move by John Tesh is, I've heard, is maybe sell Round Ball Rock to an equity firm and let them sell it. So he's playing some hardball. So you should never announce that you have a deal until you have a deal.
That's
because
right.
if you announce that you have a deal and you don't have a deal, then the person that hasn't signed yet has all the leverage. And John Tesh is squeezing right now and saying, I want more. And supposedly the other partners that won, like Amazon, they're bidding for it. They'll take it. It would be a crime if NBC doesn't have it. Just saying. Now,
you see NBC picked up Jalen Rose yesterday?
I did see that.
Nice acquisition.
Did you also, I know, you're immersed in the fight. You're watching a fight right now as we speak at Jerry World, but Governor Hochul announced that congestion pricing is back, Peter, and it will start on January 5th.
Let me give you what should be the point, guy.
Okay.
You know what makes me sick about it coming back?
Tell me.
The fact that they're now supposedly going to bring it back at $9 a person.
Right.
I mean, $9 per trip.
Yep.
That shows you that they were just trying to spit in your face, as Don would say, spit in your face, with the original 17. Right, Don? Like I
think the original was 15.
Yeah.
No, I think it was 7.
Well, she was saying today, listen, why is everybody complaining? It's a lot less than the 15.
I mean, exactly, and that's what goes to show you they were doing it intentionally to just set the bar ridiculously high and see if they could get away with it. It's all gross.
Well, Murphy's still fighting it in Jersey, which I appreciate because he knows that a lot of the drivers are from Jersey. I'm sure, Long Island wants to fight it as well. Because, you want to go to Lower Manhattan, you take the Lincoln Tunnel, you get the $15 toll, and then now the $9 on top of that. It's pretty incredible. All the infrastructure is already set, so I guess all they have to do is push a button to make it happen. But Peter is absolutely right that now it feels like, I'm getting it at a bargain. I guess it's okay now.
The thing that I don't like, and this is not toward any political party at all, they put it on the shelf, and then all of a sudden it comes off the shelf right after Election Day. Would you think you were fooling people? Maybe you did. But even Trump doesn't want it. So, I mean, I don't know if she's going to be able to push it through. A lot of people don't want it. I mean, you are disenfranchising a lot of people that don't have money, that have to get to work.
That's the thing I've always said. It's just so misleading. There's like this assumption that if you drive in New York, you must be rich and you don't need a break. And it's just such a lazy take. It's just not true.
Yeah, because there are people, because they lack funds, drive. Because, parking for the train, taking the train, the schedule is not conducive for them depending on, when they have to go home. There's a lot that goes into it. Plus the time. Everybody makes it seem like the train is just so easy. But when you're a slave to the schedule, it could take you a long time to get home. And people have other jobs to get to. So, yeah, you're right, Peter. It feels like, we're just taking money from the rich people who drive into Manhattan. Well, some people have no choice but to drive into Manhattan.
And I also was reading all the stuff about it today that if you go down the West Side Highway or the FDR Drive, you don't get charged.
Mm-hmm.
But once you go onto a city street, you get charged. So what are you going to park the car on the West Side Highway and the FDR Drive so you don't get charged?
No, it's that whole thing. It means nothing.
Yeah, it means nothing.
You get charged when you get off. I don't know why they say that. Yeah. You're getting charged. By the way, I've been told Halle Berry will be in the
So what do you say?
And
what's the icebreaker, Peter?
Yeah, I think his line is "Make me feel good." From Monsters Ball.
So you're saying I have to say it like this? Make me feel good.
Yeah, just like
okay,
that.
I'll be. No, Can I join?
Yeah, so Peter can get dragged out of the facility by his beard.
It depends on the situation. It's totally situational. But I will say this: if the opportunity comes up to chat, I will tell her the full embarrassing truth. That I had a picture collection of her as a teenager.
No, I think that's
still
cringy.
in storage.
It's creep-worthy. Don't do it.
It's a lot, by the way. I mean, it's not every day. It's not every 15-year-old white teenager who has copies of Sophisticate's Black Hair Monthly because they loved Halle Berry so much. I think the story will amuse her.
Please.
No, I'm telling you right now. I'm telling her.
No,
Don,
it's too creepy, man. It's cringe.
All right. Prediction. You saying cringe is cringe. By the way, I want predictions right now. If I meet Halle Berry tonight, the woman of my childhood dreams, and tell her, and actually tell her how much I loved her. Michael, you're saying it will go bad. She will not like it.
Well, if you tell her you love her, she'll be flattered. But if you start talking about how, like, you had this collection of books with her, no, she would be completely turned off.
All right, Don, and are you betting the same way?
Yeah.
If I go that way, it'll go bad?
Yeah, it potentially can go really bad.
And her boyfriend looks like a tough dude, too.
Is there anyone in the studio who disagrees and thinks it would go well and she'd be amused by it, and you'll see a picture of her looking lovingly at me?
Jacob?
Anybody?
No, I don't believe in him. I have no faith in Peter.
No, but if he does
He's
that,
gonna bomb.
will she be cringed out, or will she think it's funny?
I don't even think she'll have a chance to be cringed out because security is throwing him on his head immediately.
Well, come on, stop. Jacob, you're better than me. You know
why do you have to go to be base? Like, she's a terrific actor. Why can't you go there? Why can't you say, I loved you in Boomerang? She might actually find that funny, because a lot of people probably don't say that.
You think people don't say they loved her in Boomerang?
No, they'll probably come up with, like, Catwoman or something like that, or Monsters Ball.
She hears about Boomerang every
but
day,
that's
guys.
fine. But appreciate for the person instead of just going based to, like, I had your poster on my wall, I had all your pictures.
No,
like, you really come across as a
What a bad take. What a terrible.
But you don't think, Peter, that she knows that you didn't use those pictures, like, just just to look at.
You weren't a photography enthusiast.
Yeah.
Hold on. For the record, I don't know what kind of creep you think I am. I never use those pictures for anything except just being a weirdo fan and collecting them.
I think what?
That's not.
You've told a lot of fake news on the show. Nothing more than that.
But
as God is my
but
witness,
even
why
if it's
why
true,
would I lie?
even if it's true, they're not going to. She's not going to believe it. Do you think she wants to be appreciated for something other than the fact that she was attractive?
Anthony Pusick said, I think she'll try to laugh about it, but privately be weirded out.
I think I will take listen, I could get it wrong. But historically, when it comes to meeting people I admire, I have an incredible track record. I'll trust it over both of you. Don couldn't even sit in a car with Gigi, for God's sake.
See, that's a made-up story.
Well, is it?
It is.
Well, hold on. Did you take a car ride with Gigi?
I did. And it wasn't awkward. I was like,
Michael, do we have any proof of what happened?
I think we have some audio that we
stay in touch. We still, but if I was creepy, then she would have no problem telling you, and we'd be done.
Well, here's my question for you: does she still work here?
So you think that's the reason? When she's winning Emmys at Amazon, I think she made the right choice.
Well, those things aren't mutually exclusive.
Carmelo Anthony's son, Tyan, I think that's how you pronounce it, has committed to Syracuse, just like that.
I thought that was already a done deal for young boy.
No.
He doesn't get coached, though. He doesn't get the full experience.
No, you're right. You're right. But he does get to play in a building named after his father.
That is cool.
That is pretty cool. Jonathan in L.A. Jonathan, talk to us. Yes, you may join.
Hi, guys. Yeah, I'm still laughing. Michael, you made me spill my lunch earlier when you told Peter he was doing coke during the show because of the stain. But okay, first things first, Peter, you're going to be looking like Frank Lucas with that jacket on, man. I searched it up. I wanted for my Christmas present, but it's too much money for me for that jacket, man. I'd rather take my family to New York.
Jonathan, wait a minute. Jonathan, just illuminate all of us. How much is that jacket that Peter's wearing cost?
Jonathan, why Jonathan, I'm this close to the weekend. In 12 minutes, I get to
John,
go
I'm begging you. Well, how much does it cost? How much does it cost?
It's between $1,600 to $2,400, and it's sold out everywhere.
Goodness.
That's incredible.
Imagine in an adult size, Don, what it would cost. I mean,
I know. And then a Rick DiPietro. a Rick insult.
Now, it did have Rick vibes to it.
Really quick, now that I got Peter's prediction, I want to see your guys' prediction. Michael and Don, what's your prediction for tonight's fight?
Yes, that's right.
I believe that.
Always, fellas, thank you.
Jake Paul is probably going to knock him out in the third round.
Wow, you're going hold on, real quick.
Knock him down. Well, they'll stop the fight.
Knock him out or stoppage. You're saying stop.
TKO.
Well, either one. I mean, they're going to knock him out because he's going to be out on his feet.
TKO in the second, but I'm rooting for Tyson to go Spinks on him.
So you guys are both. Mike is not going to quit. It's going to be like he's being pummeled.
No, he
the
won't
ref
quit.
Steps
No,
in.
he's not a quitter.
No,
well, he has quit before.
Well, yeah, but I don't think he will this time.
No, but something will open up, and a wound, something will make them stop the fight.
And the ref will jump in, and you think like Mike will be on the verge of collapsing, or just taking a really like a barrage of punches that he can't protect.
They're going to
himself.
save his life.
But I'm hoping that it's like Spinks, like Paul's head's hanging off the apron.
Now, if that happened, if Mike absolutely wrecked Jake Paul, and it was like, is there a chance in which that's what we're talking about Monday?
Yeah,
of
course.
That's the Open. Jets, Colts be damned.
Isn't
I'll tell you what. You may not answer. I tell you what. If that happened, your phone will ring. It'll be me. Because I'd want to be a part of it with you.
And guess what I'll do? I'll hand the phone right to Halle Berry. Sal LaGreca on the line.
Solid. This is according to Greek, who for some reason always has information about betting. Solid stream of Tyson tickets, 14-1 in favor of Tyson tickets. Money is about 3-1 in favor of Tyson, according to the MGM Resorts Director of Trading, Lamar Mitchell. He said most of the larger five-figure wagers have been on Paul. At this rate, as of now, we need Paul to win, or the bookies or the books will take a bath.
I just saw a knockdown in this undercard fight. Real quick, doesn't that tell you, though, that means the public is just all over Tyson? Because what did he say? He said 14-1 in tickets, but
3-1
only 3-1 in money. So everyone who's placing a $10 bet is throwing it on Mike. But if you're betting $10,000, you're putting it on.
Now, Superbook Vice President Jake Cornegie posted Friday on X, circus or not, people loving this fight. As expected, 87% of tickets siding with Mike, but the overall money is very balanced. What's that telling you? The handle's phenomenal, according to Chuck Esposito of Red Rock Resort Sportsbook. He said it's really hard to believe it's generating so much handle. The last time I looked, and I don't bet these things, and you can't bet it in New York anyway. They're not accepting bets on the fight.
They're not?
Nope, they are not. New York is not acknowledging this fight. But I think you could do it in Jersey. But I think you could get Paul at 2-1. So if I could bet $100 to make 50, I mean, I would pour an incredible. How is Mike Tyson going to beat this guy? He's 58 years old. Hasn't fought in 20 years. The only way he's going to beat him is to hit him with the first punch he throws. I mean, the money is right there to be taken. If you could get it at 2-1 in favor of Jake Paul, how could you not bet that?
It's a really interesting point, because anyone you talk to who knows boxing seems to feel that this is an incredibly uphill climb for Mike, and I think it would be an incredible story. It would make my year up till January. It would make so that's last year. It would make my year if Mike won, but. If you really go back and look, and I'm talking about even as far back as Mike fighting Andrew Galata way back in the day, or Francois Botha, all these fights from the late 90s and early 2000s, which goes back, Michael, 25 years.
Yep.
Even back then, God bless him, I love the man, he stopped putting together combinations. He would throw one and done, and he'd stick around, and he might absorb some punishment, and then at some point he'd connect. Now, maybe that could still happen. But at this age, will he be able to stay in it that long to absorb the punishment? Because if he sticks around, I will say this, if he gets the feeling early, this kid can't hurt me, he just doesn't have the ability to hurt me, then maybe he could hang around long enough to catch one. That's really what it's about. If Jake can hurt him, I don't think Mike is going to want to do this for 8 rounds.
Right.
I don't. But maybe he can. Maybe he can.
Now, I want to clarify one thing. In New York, you cannot bet Tyson Paul, but you can bet the Serrano fight. So it's not the whole card that they're not accepting. They're just not accepting this.
But why?
Why?
Is it legit or not?
It's not legit. It's 2-minute rounds.
Right.
It's with 14-ounce gloves, not 10.
New York is not
fight,
sanctioning
not 10.
it. Yes, they're not acknowledging the sanction.
Wow.
They're looking at this as a strict exhibition in New York size.
And the only way I think Tyson wins is what Don said earlier this week, that it's set up for another fight. I mean, we can't put that beyond boxing, right? Because if Tyson knocks out Paul, right, then they both make $40 million next time.
Right.
Easily.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. In this idea where it would be a fix, the fix is in. Jake Paul is going to get knocked out, or the fix is in. Paul can't knock him out. Mike looks pretty good, wins on a decision. I mean, I think if Mike literally knocks this guy's head off, I do not think that would be a fix. I don't see.
No,
Jake Paul
I agree with
signing up
that.
for
But I do think the money's
Mike Tyson
going.
is standing up and coherent after 8 rounds. That's the biggest upset I could even imagine. He can't do it.
So you don't even think he'll be available for a post-fight
at the end of his career.
interview? Well, what do you?
I'm confident, Michael. I'll bet you Mike can competently do his interview after the fight.
But not after 8 rounds.
No, whenever it is.
Oh, I don't. Okay, but I don't think he's going to get killed, Peter.
So, but you said won't be able to stand. You said if he's able to stand after 8 rounds.
Right, I think he's going to be absolutely out on his feet. If he, there's no way I think he can last 8 rounds. I mean, we see all these clips of him throwing combinations, but that's isolated clips. It's not him fighting for 2 minutes. It's a different story. Did you see? I mean, you saw the weigh-in, Peter. You saw he's in phenomenal shape. But how are his lungs? The guy was bleeding internally 4 months ago.
My friend Sam Roberts made a great point, though. The last professional broadcaster, Sam Roberts, made a great point. He said, it's still so cool, regardless of what happens. The fact that we got to see Mike look like a killer one more time is pretty awesome. And he really did look. He looked like Mike Tyson.
Oh, my God. And there was a time, Peter, remember, like right in the middle of this 20-year stretch where he was, like, really out of shape. And unhealthily so.
Guys, he got up into the high 3 bills.
Yeah.
He was pushing 400 pounds.
But Michael, I can hear the enthusiasm in Peter's voice. And to make this relatable, this would be for me, covering a hockey game and finding out Wayne Gretzky's going to play one more game. He's going to come out for the Rangers and he's going to play in the game against Seattle on Sunday. Or for you, who would it be? I don't know. Like, obviously, nobody. Like Dom Mattingly is going to play a game for the New York Yankees. Old, but just the conversation and the attention and the nostalgia, all the things wrapped up in one. That's going to make it. That's what's fun. I think that's the people that are betting on it think that maybe the fix is in, but also people they want to have it. They want to be able to say that they bet on him because they love him so much and they love the experience.
Also gets people to relive their childhood.
Yeah, I think there's a part of it because Tyson was just so polarizing and also so popular. The fact is, he's the most recognizable fighter that's walking the face of the earth. Since Muhammad Ali passed, I don't know if there's a more recognizable fighter than Mike Tyson.
No, there's not. There's not.
Not even close.
I mean, by the way, this is not a conversation about greatness, so everyone calm down. You could argue he was more recognizable when Ali was alive. He's that recognizable.
Well, to a certain generation, yes. I mean, not that the people that are, 70, 80 years old, maybe not, but to people of all of our age, watching Tyson throughout his career, what he meant to boxing, the controversies, the talk. There was a time in sports radio where he was talked about as much as any team in the area.
Yeah, but
think about this. Think about this, Michael. The guy last fought like really well, where people were like, "Oh my God, he's the man," and it was consumed by a lot of people. Pre-Holyfield 2, okay? Basically, after the bite fight, which did not go well if you didn't see it, the mainstream public has never really watched him do anything again. I mean, I watched every single fight. I watched him fight Clifford Etienne and what was the dude's? Julian Francis. I watched him fight these jabronis. Those fights in random countries in Europe, they didn't do great numbers. And then he has a massive fight in 2002 against Lennox Lewis, where I hate to say this, he lost every minute of that fight. Every minute. Guys, then he has another comeback, loses again. My point is, it's incredible the hold he has on people's imagination. They haven't seen him do anything good in nearly 30 years.
Except for the Hangover.
And the public's betting on it.
Except for the Hangover.
Well, the Hangover was tremendous. But, I mean, you can't even think of a comp in sports, guys. There's nothing we've ever seen like this.
Pretty incredible.
The closest thing is Foreman, and it's really not close. Because Foreman came back at 40.
His comeback started at 39. He won the title at 45.
Now, were you there? Did you consume the Tyson Thierry Henry fight? Because that was a good one.
Oh, I know you're a Thierry Henry fan.
It's been a fun week, everybody. You
really
can't
was.
deny it.
Great.
If you consume the show, you're thrilled right now. You're thrilled and you're upset that it's over.
Right. And if you didn't, you're filled with regret.
Yeah, but we'll be back on Monday to talk about everything that we talk about and throw in a little craziness as well. So, Peter, have a wonderful time tonight. Tell Hallie I said hello.
I certainly will. Everyone enjoy the fight.
All right, Billy Joel.
Go, Mike.
And Daniel Craig, do your thing.
That's a wrap on the show for today and this week. Coming up next here on Yes, Brooklyn Nets Magazine, followed by our coverage of the Nets and Knicks. For all of us here on The Michael K. Show, this is Chris Sheeran saying have a great night. Enjoy the game. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you Monday at 3 o'clock. The Michael K. Show on Yes is presented by Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Shop now at Untuck It.
Untuck It makes every guy look better. From tall to short, from big to slim. From our iconic button-downs for all shapes and sizes to a whole lot more. Try us today. Untuck It. We just make guys look better.